Sightings and salutations, guys, and welcome back to the ALEumnati. We're carrying on our crusade of deep diving into conspiracy theories, and there's a lot of you out there going, what the fuck is TR3B?
Well, can I, before we start talking about TR3B, I know there's a lot of people out there going, fuck me, they've offended everybody. So,
it's not intentional, we just happen to do that.
We're not going to stop, I don't think.
No.
As the beer flows, our tongue flows.
I'm a strong believer in it. I can't give offence, you can only take offence at what I say. You took offence, I did not give you it.
That's true. And so far we've had a couple of, I can't believe you said that. So that's and we're not going to stop. And if you like that sort of thing, come to the right place. If you don't,
you'll be bored of it.
You might want to go to PG channel.
Yeah.
TR3B, I think you said.
Yeah, so this week is, does TR3B exist?
That's a good question.
So I'm sure there's a lot of people at home looking at the fun there, looking and going, what the fuck is a TR3B?
It's fun. It's just... So, TR3B is reportedly, depending on which channel you look down, some people believe it's a triangular shaped UFO. Mm-hmm. Some people believe it's a triangular shaped American craft, specifically American craft.
Yeah.
And some people don't believe either of those things, but don't really explain where it's come from. But ultimately, it's realistically, regardless of whether it's terrestrial or non-terrestrial, it is a UFO.
Yeah, it is, because it's not identified by, not even just by us, but by radar, it's been detected on radar sometimes.
It has. It's been seen multiple times, recorded multiple times, but no single
entity has taken claim of it.
No one's ever said
this is when it exists. So,
absolutely not. So,
I mean, I've got here that the TR3B is rumoured to be an American Black Project spy plane.
I think that's a good place to start.
Good place to start with it. Rumoured to be developed from reverse engineering alien tech. Mm-hmm. Which generally seems to be the theme that no matter which route you go down, it seems to come back to this core thing that it's an American Black Project spy plane that reverse engineered alien tech.
That's the exciting line for me.
Alien tech, reverse engineered.
Fucking alien. Every single time. This is a reason why I love this. I want to start this channel. UFOs, damn it. UFOs. Fucking get in. But yeah, it's true. You're saying it's partly. Well, depends on which angle. Is it a UFO? Is it engineered? But yeah, let's read some more notes. We'll come back to some of these.
Well, this is the thing I was getting when I go, is it a UFO? Yes, it is definitely a UFO. UFO does not mean alien.
It's an extraterrestrial craft.
Is it an extraterrestrial craft? Well, we can come back to that later on. But yeah, and the other thing about it is, no matter where you read it from, is its propulsion system is fucking mental.
Or lack of propulsion system.
Well, I've got a link here that I can go into the science of it if you want, but the point I took from it is the propulsion system can negate 89% of its mass and inertia, which therefore makes it an anti-gravity craft. And it's only restricted in its manoeuvres by its human pilots. So
G-force and so on.
So G-force, but a pilot can withstand 4G, which means to reach 4G manoeuvres in the TR3B, it's actually doing 40G manoeuvres because of the 89% inertial mass reduction. It'd be a reduction in G-forces inside the craft. So it'd be 40G outside the craft, but only 4G the pilot's experience.
Because some of the explanation around this is like it's an electromagnetic craft, triangular shaped. It has, from all the videos I've seen, I'm sure people, we'll talk about them as well, but all the videos I've seen is there's no, unlike a conventional craft, any other craft on the face of the planet, it's got a fuel output, so it has heat, you can see it, you can detect heat. Even the Blackbird, even the Stealth, still has heat signatures, even depending on where it is. So this has no heat, it has no propulsion system, it can go from here to here, blink of an eye, there's no, you don't see it getting to there.
You don't see it accelerating up to a point, just boom, it's gone.
Yeah. So, but some people say it's partly the electromagnetic thing will move the craft around, but it can also, because it's anti-gravity and so on, it can also wormhole. So it can go from there to there, and it doesn't even move, just wormholes over.
Yeah.
There's loads of reasons or explanations about what the TR3B is, but it's an incredible craft.
I've got here like the physics explained by it, which
Okay, let's do this.
I find this mental. For my first thought when reading this one, for an experimental technology that's reverse engineered from alien craft into a black project American spy plane, we know a fucking lot about how it works. This guy in particular does.
Is this guy just someone who goes, I think it works this way?
So this guy is Mr. Fausch, or Fouche, which he explains in his speech, TR3B, anti-gravity physics explained, insofar as general relativity can be considered an explanation for gravity.
I'm lost already, I'm drinking beer.
Yeah. Mr. Fouche describes the TR3B's propulsion system as follows. A circular plasma-filled accelerator ring called the magnetic field disruptor surrounds the rotatable crew compartment and is far ahead of any imaginable technology. The plasma, mercury-based, is pressurised at 250,000 atmospheres at a temperature of 150 degrees Kelvin and accelerated to 50,000 RPM to create a superconductive plasma with resulting gravity disruption.
Let me stop you there for a second. So, for a plane that doesn't exist, I'm just wondering, clearly this guy's not seen the blueprint.
Yeah.
Where the fuck is he coming up with these figures?
It goes on into more depth about how the TRB's propulsion is provided by 3 multimode thrusters mounted at each bottom corner of the triangular platform. The TR3B is a sub-Mach 9 vehicle until it reaches altitudes above 120,000 feet, then who knows how fast it can go.
Well, there's no pressure. There's no...
Yeah. And this goes on and on and on. It's massive. But I just want to bring that there because most people drawn in by, oh, this is how it works, the technology behind it. But this is alien technology that's been reverse engineered into a black project spy plane. How do we know that works? That's very specific of the information.
So, either this person is someone in the know, and have come out and said it. Have we found out whether MI5 have removed their body?
Well, that's the only evidence I could find of Mr. Fauche on the internet.
So it could be a pseudonym. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
Or it could have been MI5.
Yeah, exactly. Same as Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
It's in the back of someone's boot. Well, just you saying that little thing. Do you know what? That could all be completely true, right? But come on, some guys they've not posted blueprints. It's just said this is how it works. I could make something up now about how it works. My microwave oven. How was it?
I've seen people at conventions explain in technical detail how the dilithium reactor on Voyager works.
That someone wrote down their own imagination.
They've gone through every episode bit by bit and everything they do, but just made up their own science. And it's like, yeah, that sounds really impressive, but it doesn't exist, so it doesn't work like that, does it?
Exactly. So that's. I mean, if it was real, that would be a wonderful explanation. And the thing is, though, does this? I think if
I didn't have time to research it more, but I'd be interested to see if that science holds up.
I was thinking that. But
if you take what were it he said there? Let me just start the first bit again. But if you take a circular plasma-filled accelerator ring called the magnetic field disruptor surrounds a rotatable crew compartment and is found ahead of any imaginable terrain. The plasma mercury base is pressurised at 250,000 atmospheres and at a temperature of 150 degrees Kelvin and accelerated to 50,000 RPM to create superconductive plasma with resulting gravity disruption. I'm interested to see if you took a mercury-based plasma and pressurised it to that and heated it to that degree and then spun it that fast, would it create an anti-gravity field?
I want people at home to try it.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like, oh, these ships, we'll get to the size of the ships and stuff later, but could you create something that small or as big as it? I don't know how big it is you make it. Does it create? If you make it that small, does it create an anti-gravity field around this bit? Then that proves the science works.
What's his? Do you know what? I can't even believe I forgot his name because I'm drinking beer.
What's Lazar.
The Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
So he was saying that when they with the anti-gravity craft,
It was about Mercury being sped round.
Another element. Pardon me.
Element 115.
Yeah. I was about to say element 115 and feel like a coughing of a hairball, feel like a cat. So element 115, but he was also talking about that it disrupts gravity around the craft. That's down to electromagnetism. So he was saying, from what he found in the 80s, that's what they were doing then with alien spacecraft.
Could this be somebody in the know, or could this be somebody just expanding on what Bob Lazar said?
We don't know, do we?
We have no idea of knowing.
I mean, they're going into a lot of detail, so either...
Oh, it goes into some massive detail. It goes on for like another 15 paragraphs or something.
Let's be honest, me and you are not smart enough to debunk that.
No.
So, can you put that in the comments, in the link?
Yeah, I can put this in the link and people can read it.
If people can read this link, have a look, try and explain to two pissed up Yorkshiremen whether or not it's right or wrong, whether it actually holds any credibility or any technical ability at all, that'd be really helpful because I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
Anyone could tell me that works, I don't know.
Yeah, and it does have links to other stuff. So the guidelines of anti-gravity by Dr. Robert Forward seems to back up in 1962 backs up Fauci's claims, and if it's bullshit, it's well-crafted bullshit, is what I'm saying.
But there's a lot of that out there, though.
Yeah,
there is some wonderfully well-crafted bullshit. It's how our politicians get in power, after all.
Yeah.
Those wonderfully crafted manifestos out of toilet paper the day after the... I do want to speak about one thing you mentioned there, because people may not know. You talk about going to black budgets.
Yeah, black projects.
Black projects, but there's also black budgets which are everyone knows about, because you've got lots of black projects that run on, but there's a black budget which is part of the general budget. So I think last year it was like nearly $60 billion was siphoned off of black budgets.
Yeah, well this is where when it goes to the Senate they have to agree the government spending for the next year, and they go 60 billion for black budget. What's this for? You don't need to know.
Correct.
No, but we're putting this budget together and we're putting out what's getting paid where. What is this £60 billion going on? You'd have security clearance for that. Just give us a £60 billion, thank you very much.
And they don't. and it's agreed that they don't have to disclose that publicly. That's part.
They just go 60 billion. Right, that's what's disclosed publicly. Right, where the 60 billion gone? Oh, there's no financial oversight.
Yeah, you don't need to know where it comes from. And typically, I think it was 50 billion in 2009, 52.5 billion in 2012. I think it was 60 billion last year.
It's round about the same for inflation. When you're putting for inflation, it's round about the same cost every year. It doesn't really rise.
So we all know, the Americans especially are the tip of the spear when it comes to
conspiracy
and when it comes to technology, really. I mean, they've got the most amount of money to be able to spend on this type of thing. So this is why everyone always angry at America.
Yeah, I'd say they used to be the tip of technology. I think you got to look at places like South Korea now, in terms of service technology like internet and stuff like that.
I think from black budget technology.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, this. I think it was said that. I'll probably go into this a little bit later on, actually. But even the head of Lockheed Martin at the time said, "But what you see, you are 50 years behind. You will never fucking understand. Commercially, you will never see the shit that we know. You are 50 years behind." So, as an example, when GPS came out about a decade ago, they've been using it since the 70s.
Yeah.
And then it became commercial, and that's a really small technology that's helpful to mankind.
But it's that thing that always gets me is, we know American black budget has 60 billion a year. We know America has secret test flight planes and stuff. You got the F-117A stealth bomber.
F-17.
F-17A stealth bomber. And it's like, we only knew it existed because it got shot down.
Oh, in Yugoslavia as well?
Iraq. Well, it got shot down in Iraq, I think, wasn't it? And it was just like, oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, it's this brand new aircraft. It's not exactly new, we've been flying it for 10 years. The greatest plane ever made, the SR-71 Blackbird. I honestly believe that. You don't think it's the greatest plane? Fighting it, right? The SR-71 Blackbird is a fucking engineering miracle. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful. And they went, oh yeah, this is, we've got the SR-71 Blackbird, this is it here. And they went, oh wow, this brand new plane. When's it going out into our operational? No, we're only letting you know about because it's decommissioned now. It's going to the Smithsonian. It's been fine for 20 years. But we can't really afford to keep it anywhere, and we've decommissioned it, so it's going to the Smithsonian. We thought we'd better tell you it existed.
Thanks for that. No, I'm sure
But
that...
what I think about, like, we know that because America decommissions its planes and it has its budget, it's public, even though it's not. It's kind of like, we know there's 6 billion for black projects. We don't know how much China has for black projects.
No.
And one of my favourite things is, you've got like MI5 in England and CIA in America and the NSA and do you know what the Chinese security service is called?
I'm not even going to guess.
No one knows. It's not a fucking secret. No one knows what it's called.
Not even the government knows what it is. Is it, what was it? I'm trying to think of a movie now. Rush Hour 3, where they wrote all the names of someone on the back of someone's head and they made them wear a wig. That's not secret. It's just tattooed on the back of someone's head. And that's where it is.
But that's it. So it's like we know what the Israeli Secret Service and the KGB and the CIA and MI5 and all that lot. No one knows what the Chinese Secret Service is called.
It's so secret.
Yeah, that's it. Like, so what fucking... When people go in, America, the tip of technology in terms of black projects, because we'll see them, we don't know what the fuck China's got or Russia's got, because we don't see them.
And let's not just talk about the disclosed 60 billion a year for black projects. Is not what they really get.
Yeah, I mean,
let's remember Rumsfeld on 10th of September 2001. He goes, we've lost 2.3 trillion.
Where it's gone.
We've lost. It's not like you've gone. Oh shit! I've only spent £5 on my bills this month. Shit. 2.3 trillion. We've lost count to like. It's an unfathomable like.
But it's also that thing of what comes out of these black projects. So I'm going to quote a fictional source, but Men in Black. There's a great scene in Men in Black where he's showing him all the technology in the first film and stuff, and he's got that. Velcro. Like, yeah, that stuff financed operations for a decade.
or Independence Day where he goes, you don't really think to spend $20,000 on a hammer or $30,000 on a toilet seat, do you? You know. But there's. I love Independence Day.
It's a great film.
But just go back to America lost 2.3 trillion. Now I know for certain that if America had lost that money in the public sector. Oh, they'd have found it quickly.
They'd have found it straight away.
Yeah, so it's not being lost down the back of a sofa or on the public
sector. If JP Morgan had lost that or something, I mean...
And this was over a 2-year period, and this was 2000.
Yeah, it's not like, the last decade we've kind of miscounted, like, no, 2.2 trillion, now couple of years.
Yeah, don't ask questions. And then, obviously, for another conspiracy, that gets put into the
Tower
CIA.
7 comes down and...
Well, no, it's the CIA, wasn't the side of the CIA that got blown up.
Yeah, but that Tower 7 one,
Pentagon.
Wait, Pentagon?
Yeah.
Oh, that's like, I thought where Tower 7 was where the records were.
No,
and that collapsed and it didn't even, not touched it, but it collapsed because it was the only place with all the records in it.
No, it was the side of the Pentagon it got moved to, which was just reinforced that got blown up, which all these records were in.
Right, that's another episode anyway, we'll get
which is
well, that's a series of episodes.
Eventually when we get to the point of being smart enough to deconstruct it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just saying, even though there is a black budget, which is part of the budget, there's $2.3 trillion worth of money that disappears, which also goes into stuff that I'm sure the president knows nothing about. It's not part of his budgets. They'll be way above his pay grade. Which sounds really weird when you say it out loud, but like the CIA are so far apart from the American.
Yeah, I mean this is the thing. Like you've got. I don't know, let's say just for argument's sake, when Bob Lazar's right, and the reverse engineering craft in Area 51, right? You've got someone coming in every 4 years, possibly 8 years at the most. You're getting someone new in charge. You're going to tell them all this stuff you're doing at Area 51 with aliens and stuff, because if you get someone like Trump, who like was where filming this, he's lost the election. Is he going to just come out and go like, fuck this, I'm away out? Yeah, we've been working on this at Area 51. Trump's the kind of dickhead that'd do it.
It could even be the other way around though. So let's just say you've got a really, really, really important secret like UFOs and so on. It could be a case of the government could go, well, I think we could spend money better than that. We're just decommissioning the work.
Yeah.
And you're not going to work on that anymore. And it's like, well, if you put it into the hands of the government and so on, that will never continue to work. And because they go, well, I can spend $1 trillion on social care or something or whatever, you know. Not that America ever was.
I don't think the president is the highest authority in America. And it's again going back to quoting films. It's that great line of Independence Day where someone goes, "Oh, why don't you get your alien spaceships at Area 51 and fight back?" You're like, we don't have alien spaceships at Area 51. Absolutely, Mr. President. Something you need to see.
Now that you're alive,
now it's kind of needed. Let's go to Groom Lake.
And we're not saying that the independence is a source of all truth, Brit is.
It's a documentary. But no, it's just that thing, like, I know it's a filter, but that makes our point great, you know.
It's a pop culture.
Yeah, pop culture reference. You know, I say we were about black budget and Men in Black going, yeah, Velcro funded us for decades. Independence Day going, like we were saying, like the president wouldn't know about these things because it's above him. Well, not maybe above him, but just off to the side of him. Like, you go do the government thing and we do this over here.
That was the thing. That was the reason why JFK wanted to get rid of the CIA to start with, because we're doing things in secret. That's big.
Well, that was the thing. Wanted to dismantle the military-industrial complex.
Yeah, exactly.
The theories that's why we were assassinated.
So he even openly stated, "There's lots of secrets and stuff going on that I've got no control over and I don't know anything about." And that was in '62, before he got shot in '63. So he was talking about
what's going on now, because no president would have stand up. Because you go, like, I'm going to out this. Remember JFK?
Yeah, exactly. Now we've got bullets that can swirl around corners.
Yeah. And I think you need to go do I think it's time for a rally in Dallas.
Go take a walk on your own.
We're just pulling you, just every president that got assassinated by CIA got assassinated in Dallas. From book depository.
Fucking hell, badger. They just take Dallas out of the map, won't they? Go, that's a state we're not going to vote in anymore.
Right, we're going to go. We've got a rally in Dallas. No, don't want to go.
Well, I could just see this similar thing like what Hitler did in the last episode, in one of the episodes we did before, where we just get lookalikes to go over and go, please don't shoot me.
Anyway,
often would, but I just want to make people very aware that black budgets are normally money that's siphoned off by the government that says this is the stuff you don't need to know, we don't need to talk about publicly. But that is the tiny fragment of what really, really happens. Trillions of money disappears. Rumsfeld said trillions have disappeared. We don't know where it's gone. And the real black budget is that money.
I mean, like I said, I don't want to labour too much point on this, but we've got evidence of the CIA in the late 80s, early 90s, importing cocaine into America from Colombia.
Clintons again.
The Clintons again. But that, and I'm not bringing up the thing about the Clintons because that's probably another episode as well. But I won't bring that up to go like, yeah, they don't just spend money on projects. Like, they were actively profiteering off this. Like, that funded so much other stuff. They're like, oh, we need oversight clearance for this. Oh, we'll just grab this little fucking side hustle, make some money, and that'll pay for that one.
I'm
You
sure,
don't need to declare it now.
do put me right in the comments, because I don't know if it's true now. I think it still is, but the CIA are given carte blanche to go, if you can raise your own funding, you can fund what you want. I'm sure that's
Any way you want.
Yeah.
Like, they're allowed to break the law to raise funding.
I don't know if they're breaking the law, but I'm pretty sure it definitely used to be that the CIA were given the idea that if you raise your own funds, those funds are yours.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why there was
You don't have to declare them to the Senate, or it's not, oh, you've raised 20 billion this year, so you only need 40 billion.
Yeah.
Like, no, we're keeping our 60 and we're keeping this 20 we raised as well.
Which is where the other conspiracy ran in September 11th and so on about opening the Afghan poppy fields.
Mm-hmm.
The whole conspiracy about that is that the CIA then became the biggest drug pusher in the world.
Yeah.
You know, with opium,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how they're raising some of their funds. But they're still there protecting the fields as we speak. They keep their funds moving and just putting it around the world.
But we're getting off topic.
But
again. But I think we're important point to make that the CIA does have a history of funding itself.
Yeah.
And has carte blanche to do so. So if you were making money off Black Project, 60 billion isn't just the entirety of the Black Project. It's the 2.2 trillion that's gone missing, plus whatever else they're making in self-funding.
Because what I don't actually know is if let's just say we're talking the TR3B. Let's just say that this is an American craft. We're not talking anything, but who fund? Is it CIA funded? Is it where's the funding come? Is it one of those that the CIA owns this craft?
Well, this is interesting. I'm gonna get to it later on, but the patent for the TR3B.
Well, it's not called TR3B, and it's 20 years after the fact. That's the thing, isn't it? So it's 2006 the patent.
Mm-hmm.
When the TR3B, from what we know it as, was seen 15 years before, 20 years before. So I'll let you talk about the patent, and then we'll talk about.
Right. So we're saying that does TR3B exist? And again, this is dubious to me because if it's a black project and it's so embroiled in government secrecy and all this lot, why would you register at the patent office?
Maybe.
That's the first thing.
Well, there's two. Yeah, I've thought about that as well. So I had the exact same. I think we're bringing up the same patent.
US 20060145019A1.
There's another one as well.
Yeah, that's all the other one. The other one looked a bit
from the Navy.
Yeah, which I'm going to get to in a minute.
But this particular patent is an application with a correspondence address of James St. Clair, 51 King Street, San Juan.
John St. Clair.
Yeah, San Juan.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what we expected to see from all these UFOs. But is it a case of this is just a diversionary tactic of, well, what this hand is showing you to look at? We're doing something else behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, it goes into
Big
immense detail about it. You know, I'm just going to pick out some bits here. So, triangular hull in the form of an equilateral triangle. An electrostatic generator used to charge the back two copper-cladded corners to a high positive voltage and the third forward copper-cladded corner to a high negative voltage. A frequency generator antenna and coaxial cables to drive the antenna array. It brings up the invention. This invention is a spacecraft having a triangular hull with a vertical electrostatic line charges on each corner. The line charges create a horizontal electric field that, together with a plane wave emitted by antennas on the side of the hull, generates a force per volume, providing a unique combination of both lift and propulsion. So let's talk in anti-grav.
Just so you know what we're reading through, Badger will put up.
I'll put the link in the description as well.
The patent for you to view.
Yeah, the link. I'm not going to put this on the entire screen, but I'll put it in the link in the description. But yeah, so it goes into great depth, and there's a lot of symbols in I don't even fucking recognise and stuff. But the mathematical symbols, not alien, don't worry. But the reason I brought it up was because this pattern is attributed to the inventor John St. Clair, who apparently has quite a few patents for this kind of stuff. But the reason I brought it up then is because you went, well, if it's paid for by the CIA and it's funded by a black budget, who owns it? Well, there's another patent that's the US Navy.
The Navy, yeah.
Which you'd think, well, this would be the Air Force, wouldn't it? To play it'd be the Air Force.
What if it's a USO?
What, I mean, submersible craft?
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing, that it's supposedly an aircraft and a spacecraft.
Well, the other patent, which is US 1014453-2B2, again, which we'll put in the links, I think we want to go into detail, but this I'll read 4 lines. So the first one is an inertial mass reduction device comprising an inner resonant cavity wall, an outer resonant cavity wall, the inner resonant cavity wall and the outer wall forming a cavity, and microwave emitters such as microwave emitters create high frequency electromagnetic waves through the cavity, causing the outer resonant cavity to vibrate in an accelerated mode and create a localized polarized vacuum outside of the resonant cavity wall, which is exactly what we were talking about earlier, where
yeah, I mean, the thing for me with this one is why I didn't declare. I remember because she said who person. Oh yeah, the US Navy is attributed to it. Is the reason I've dismissed this one is because it's nearly every third or fourth word is cavity, which screams that's a fan written patent.
Well, no, you can't just no. It don't work that way. Let me just.
You wouldn't have cavity that much. Like if you look through.
Maybe they're trying to take YouTube hits.
Yeah, I mean, you look through the one for John St. Clair, and it looks like a well-written, properly written pattern. This looks like it's something like, how many times is the word cavity mentioned in those first 4 lines?
I'm pretty sure, though, if you claim to be part of the Navy, you can't just put something to be part of the Navy. So if you raise a patent, you can't just go, oh yeah, I'm part of the Navy, and this craft is.
No, but what I'm saying is, I wasn't able to ascertain if this patent or this one was actually logged with a patent office, or is this just something that someone's wrote on the internet and then it's just got spread viral and we can't find where the original source came from.
Well, all we can say is, similarly to the same one, both of them start with patents.google.com/patent/, and then they give you the patent reference. Now, when you raise something, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to follow through with it, but it's interesting to say, if the Navy raised something, I can't raise something on behalf of the Navy. It has to be the Navy themselves have to raise it. I can't just pretend to be, I'm part of Men in Black and I've raised a flashy thing. As part of as part of a Google patent. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, I suppose.
You
Yeah.
have to say, prove you're part of the Navy, I think. You can't say it on behalf of the Navy.
I'm hoping that's the case. I'm not entirely sure it is, but I'm hoping that's the case.
Because the other two, we'll take the caveat of it, but it's saying it's filled with noble gas, it's electrically charged, and it can actually rotate and accelerate whenever it fancies. So it can swivel wherever it wants and just go in any direction.
Well, that's going back to what I was saying at the start with Foch, or Foosh, whatever you're going to call him. That sounds different to what we were saying season about a circular ring of plasma, mercury-based plasma, superheated and regenerated.
Completely different pattern, though, isn't it?
But the thing that's similar is they say it can spin on its own axis and accelerate in any direction. Foch mentions that the crew cabin is rotating, which kind of sounds similar to that. Whereas if it can spin on its own thing and go, then that sounds like it spins and goes and the crew cabin rotates around to whatever the front's facing. So it's not like the ship turns, it just turns and the cabin goes with it.
So what they say with that ship is the ship will turn and that stays stable so that you don't get any
G-force or whiplash or whatever.
It's quite clever, actually.
You know, which kind of ties in with that, the Foch and that tying together with the rotating cabin.
It's quite clever, I must admit. So,
it's quite clever, really.
It really is clever, but I think we got onto this because I mentioned.
You asked like if it was CIA who owns it, and it's like, well, one of the patents is the Navy.
It is. I don't know who John Quincy St. Clair is, who raised it, and so he could have just gone, well, I raised my own patent for this. It doesn't mean it works.
Actually, with the question of the Navy, I've got one question actually, is that don't the US Navy, and I think the British Navy as well, own aircraft?
They've got hangars.
So like aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
They're not like US Air Force planes that land on an aircraft carrier, the US Navy planes.
It just sounds backwards.
They take off and land from an aircraft carrier.
You see the Navy going, well, I use boats and submarines. You don't
and the Air Force go, we use planes. They go, no, I know, we've got some of them as well. But yeah, I think though, in every like F-17 Tomcat or whatever they use now on aircraft carriers are all Navy. Like Top Gun is a Navy pilot.
I'm going to blow your mind here. I've never watched Top Gun.
Oh, you're lucky. It's Tom Cruise, it's all you need to know.
No, but Edge of Tomorrow from Tom Cruise is a fucking daddy movie.
Cruise, can't stand it.
Anyway,
but yeah, I'm pretty sure it says there that like in Top Gun is a Navy pilot.
You might be right, yeah.
Because to take off and land from aircraft carriers.
And this is very much American centric. This type of craft.
Yeah.
I'm talking about. So you might be completely right. But I know I jumped ahead, but I found that patent very, very interesting. I had a good read of it, and I was like, it doesn't mean it's so. Let's just make certain though. I think that the TR3B was first seen at 89, I want to say, or 90.
I've got the Belgian wave in 89, which I'm going to go on to next. Yeah. But yeah, we'll got the sightings in a bit.
So why would you have a patent for a craft that happened in 89 in 2004? So that's the thing. There's a big difference. There's 15-year difference between seeing the craft in Belgium and having a patent raised. So I think this one is either a copycat, going, I think that's how it works, and I'm going to raise my own, or it could be its predecessor.
Do you think this could be like the guy in India with the PlayStation 5?
What the fuck's that?
There was a guy recently with the PS5 launch that. You know, the logo for PS5 is just more or less the PS4 logo than shit to 5 in there. And they copyright it.
Oh, did he buy the website?
No, he bought the copyright. When they announced the logo, he put the copyright into the Indian Copyright Office. And then started the PlayStation, went, no, you can't sell it over here. I have the copyright on it. You have to pay me £1 million for copyright. And so he went, no, we fucking don't, you dickhead. Right? And ended up going to court, and he lost. And incurred a lot of fucking legal charges. And so he kept it. Because his argument was, I own the copyright to this logo in India. PlayStation were like, look at the rest of the fucking world. Look at our products. Look at our products of the last 30 years. Like, we blatantly own this. And he's going, I've got a piece of paper that says I do. And they're like, no, this is just shady. Fuck off. Right? But because of that court case, we had the launch date for PS5 in America and then the launch date a week later in Europe and the rest of the world, except India. because Sony couldn't legally launch it in India with that logo on it.
Until the
court case had closed. So Indians are going, man, like, oh, Europe and rest of the world. Well, it's not because it's not out in India. Go see that guy.
That guy's now been MI5'd.
and his address is publicly known because it's in a court document, so off you go, lads. I am not inciting violence towards this Indian guy.
I'm not inciting violence, but violence has happened.
I don't think he did. I think he just fucking ran. I think he just went into hiding. But yeah, I think this is similar to that, where that guy's gone, do you know what? I can make a quick book out of this. I'm going to copyright it, and no, let's get one copyright there. I think this is, we've had 15 years to these sightings. People, let's say, speculating. So we don't know if Foch is in the know or not. So let's say speculating about how it runs. And we've had Bob Lazar. So you can take a lot of bits, put them together, file a patent on them, like maybe John St. Clair has, so that if anything, if TR3B does exist and it gets decommissioned in 10 years and this technology comes out into the world in 30 years,
true, yeah.
He can go, actually, you owe me money, I've got the patent on that technology.
Quite right. So, it's an interesting patent, is this, but if it had come out in 1989, I'd have been like, whoa, fucking hell.
But also, we don't have a patent for the F-117 stealth bomber. We don't have a patent for the SR-71 Blackbird.
Yeah.
There's no patents around Project Aurora, which is the predecessor to TR3B. So why would the Navy file a patent for it? That makes me think the Navy one is fake, and the John St. Clair one, I think, is just someone who's very intelligent, has put all the bits together, and then filed a patent on those bits to go, if this cost me 200 quid to file a patent, but if this comes true, I'm fucking loaded.
Yeah, I think you're right, because if even with black budgets and secretive things like that, you wouldn't pay it out, would you?
You won't pay it, would you?
You'd be like, it's like in the same way that like MI5, MI6 in the UK, when they're creating technology for computers so that it can't be hacked, you don't see them putting a copyright out.
No.
Going, this is the copyright and this is what we're building. So we can go, well, I can fucking deconstruct that.
You might have where you have that technology is about to hit the market, so you might have someone high up at the CIA sell the technology to his brother who owns this fucking tech firm in San Francisco or something, or in Silicon Valley, so that when that technology comes to market, it's his brother that's getting the fucking money off it, rather than, it's not some dude that's invented it.
Yeah.
It's some dude who's been, my company's worked in black projects for 20 years and never spelt a fucking bean. Here's your reward. You get this technology as a reward. We don't use it anymore. We don't use this technology anymore, so you can now go and use it. You have the patent on it. You won't. I think that's how it goes down.
I'm going to call you a name now, you're a bastard, because do you know what? I was really excited by this, and now I spoke to you, I'm like, do you know what? The more I speak to you, this is worthless.
I believed in more conspiracy theories we've done than you have.
This is my fucking idea.
You were your idea with this. But no, it's great and wonderful to be, but just look at it logically. It's gonna be, like fucking Lockheed Martin building like the latest jets and get government contracts. Well, how many fucking I bet they built the jets for the F-17 stealth bomber and went, you know what, in 20 years when they decommissioned the SR-71 Blackbird, they went, right, now you can go use it. And 2 years later, after the second one Blackbird, I bet we've got something like the fucking 767 Dreamliner or whatever.
Yeah.
A brand new engine came out on commercial flights that's more economical and can travel further. And that's come from the SR-71 because they've done it for 20 years and not had any leaks. Here's your reward. I mean, you've been paid handsomely for the government contracts, for the black project contracts, but your little cherry on cake is you get the patent on this new engine.
I think the TR3A though, that was public, wasn't it? That's a spy thing.
That was a reconnaissance spy plane.
TR3A Manta, was it? Yeah. So we know that exists, and that the public said the TR3A Mantra exists because it's been flying around for fucking decades.
Yeah, but that's a different shit to.
It's still triangular of light.
Yeah, that's kind of Project Aurora, well, that battle.
Yeah.
And then came to TR3A, and we know it exists because they've admitted it. But the TR3B I think that it's a propulsion system is radically different.
Very.
Like we've never seen, and then it can enter and re-enter the Earth's atmosphere at will. You know, you can't take a 747 up into space, but a TR3B apparently can.
This is the thing. I really want to talk about the space stuff in a minute. But you mentioned Lockheed Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not evidence of any kind.
Right. But you're going to mention it anyway.
I think it's important that we do, because
yeah, but it doesn't.
if it's true what he said,
Wrong.
it's I think it's really important, because so if anyone doesn't know who Ben Rich was, Ben Rich used to be the head of Lockheed Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to give speeches every year. And in 1993,
Like alumni speeches again.
Yeah,
stuff at
that's
universities.
that's
yeah.
right, yeah. So in 1993, in an alumni speech at UCLA, he reportedly said, "We all already have the means to travel among the stars. Technology. These technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out and to benefit humanity," which we already kind of know.
Yeah.
Anything you can imagine, we already know how to do it. And then at the end of the speech, the most interesting part was, we now have the technology to take ET home.
Ooh.
So you have to. So either there's a couple of things.
That's E.T. struggling to get the stuff together to make a phone call to get his people to come get him, and he's going. He wouldn't have, if he crashed today, he wouldn't have to do that because we could just take him home.
Well, so.
Or is it going? E.T.'s been in Area 51 for 50 years. He's been there since Roswell. We can now take him home.
It's tantalising, really. So let's just pretend.
Yeah. How do you want to interpret that quote?
So if this is fact, if this is a true statement that he actually said, it could be taken in two different ways. Either it's like, our technology is so far advanced you can't believe. It's so good we could take ET home. Meaning, we don't know if ET exists, but it's so good if we wanted to, we could travel among the stars.
Yeah, if he crashed today, we could take him back.
Yeah. Or alternatively, I know, I'm in the know.
That he's in Roswell, he's been there for 50 years.
And really, we're just hiding the tech from him. We can fucking send.
Just the most interesting for me is not the ET bit. The most interesting therefore is that we have the technology to travel. What is that word? Technology to travel among the stars.
So we already have the means to travel among the stars, but these technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity.
See, the thing, travel among the stars to me, is like, he's not saying we can travel in our solar system and within our planet. Like, stars are galaxies apart. Like, that's one galaxy to another to travel among them. That's interstellar travel.
But isn't the idea? I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm now going to use pop culture again.
You know, if he said we have the technology to travel to Jupiter, we have technology to travel between the planets, it's a lot different from travelling to Alpha Centauri or Betelgeuse. You know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure that. Have you seen Event Horizon?
Once a long time ago.
Where the ship went to hell and came back. But it had this massive anti-gravity ball in the middle, electromagnetic ball. This used to create wormholes. It didn't used to travel. It used to go, here's a hole, and bend space and time to the same place, and it just appear.
Well, that's the idea with the.
And I'm not using pop culture as science, by the
way. But the science behind it is that you don't need to travel that distance.
Yeah.
You just need gravity to bend time and space. So the idea is, if you were to go from that piece of paper to that piece of paper, that's say 15 million light years, right? Yeah. All you need to do is project gravity in front of you. So you bend time and space, and now that's a 2-second trip, and then gravity goes back after, and you're over here. You're 50 million light years away.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the thing. Cause I know you're referencing a book movie, but the actual scientific theory behind it is, if you project gravity in front of you, and we've got proof that gravity bends time and space, so you just bend space around you, travel those bits, and then let it go again.
When you were doing that, all I could see was Sam Neill's face floating over my shoulders. That's exactly what he does.
Is that exactly what he does?
With a pencil and put the pencil through. But so if we're talking these are electromagnetic machines, effectively,
which could affect gravity. And
one of the interesting things is, outside of what Ben Rich said here, is some people theorise that actually these crafts are something that can go comfortably into space and bend space-time, and realistically, we're able to travel among the stars without issue, and we have been doing without anyone really knowing because of black projects. Now, I think that's fascinating, really.
I think that's fascinating, especially when you tie it into, like, we can't take that as evidence.
No.
Really, right? But it is fascinating. Yeah. It's conjecture. It's fascinating. But when you, like with most conspiracy, when you stack up alongside something else, so trying to remember the guy's name now. The British autistic kid who spent 20 years fighting extradition to America because he hacked NASA.
Yes, I know who you mean. Oh my word.
I can't remember his name. It's on top of my head.
But Rich D. Hall does a really good video with him.
Yeah, and
go check out Rich D. Hall. He's got a great channel.
I can't remember the guy's name now. I just remember I can see his face.
So can I.
Ginger, bushy-head, autistic kid.
You mean not the guy who got into an arm with someone else? I thought the guy who hacked NASA. You were talking about.
He got into NASA because it remote access laptops because they had really crap, and he saw, and it was really crap internet at the time, so he was waiting for stuff to download before someone noticed the mouse moving and disconnected.
It wasn't he didn't have ginger fluffy hair though.
Not ginger fluffy hair, no, but I'm trying to remember the guy's name.
But he's definitely he was on the scale. And
yeah,
he said he can't go, you're not
he
going
can't
to
go, he's on the spectrum, we can't extradite him. But he said he found...
Is it McKillis?
Gary McKinnon?
That's the one.
Gary McKinnon. And he said he saw a manifest of off-world officers and fleets and transfers between ships, like stock transfer, inventory transfer between ships. When you that sounds a bit fanciful and ridiculous, but when you put that alongside TR3B, you kind of go.
Only if, firstly, you believe Gary McKinnon.
Yeah.
You have to believe what he's saying.
Yeah.
That he did. There's a reason why, even if he'd have found nothing, the fact he tried to hack the NASA server would be enough to extradite him to start with. Even if he saw anything or not, the fact he's fucking hacking it.
Yeah, but if he didn't see anything, would America really go for 30 years? Are you talking how many different administrations were still trying to extradite him?
Yeah, but the thing is though, if you just see someone going, we tried to hack the NASA servers with impunity and nothing's happened to him, it just means everyone's going to have a go. You know, they're going to go, we're going to make a fucking big case out of this. It's a deterrent for everybody. Don't try hack our terrible 56k access.
Well, it wasn't even that, like, he didn't even hack him. It wasn't like he hacked in or it was just like there was no password to set up remote access, so we just took over.
Yeah.
That was it. But yeah, it's like when you line stuff up like that, you can see how conspiracies are formed. Where you line up, they've got TR3B that can go into space, and then this guy Rich. Yeah, I can't
Ben Rich, former head of Lockheed.
Yeah, Ben Rich going, oh, we have the technology to travel among the stars, and then Gary McKinnon's going, I've seen manifestos of people like these three things aren't connected, but suddenly they are.
Do you know what? This feels like Christmas to me. You saying this because, oh man, the idea of we've got this, it makes my conspiracy. I know I've not agreed to a single conspiracy so far, but my conspiratorial brain goes, this just all the lights and everything lines.
This is the food that nourishes my soul.
Oh, it's brilliant. And I could sit here if I said I'll put logic to one side for a second. I could digest all this and come up with any narrative I wanted. And exactly what you said just gets me really excited that they've got this special tech that's been back engineered by aliens that crashed in several crashes across history, not just 1947 Roswell. Russians have got them. One even crashed in Wales, you know, for God's sake, and that sort of thing. And so the Brits have got it, and we've created all this new tech, and we can travel amongst the stars. It's just been hidden from us. Just having the idea that we have that tech, human ingenuity has that ability. It's just, for me, that's really exciting. We may not see it, but the fact that humans have the ability to do it.
This is going back to what my quite overly passionate speech at the end of the moon landing episode was that, you know, 50 years we've not gone anywhere, we've not, and I miss human endeavour.
You were very upset, weren't you?
I was really upset. So when you see something like this, where we're going, we have the technology to move along the stars, we have TR3B, this guy's hacked NASA and gone, I've seen the manifest that there's a fleet there and these are off-world officers.
A fleet, more than one.
A fleet.
Plural.
You know, off-world officers that are transferring stock from ship to ship, like they're setting out to go somewhere, and it's like, this is the human endeavour that I was got so upset about that was missing at the end of the moon landing video. Go back and watch how passionate I get over that. It was just like, this is it, with 50 years with nothing.
It took you 3 days to come down from that.
Yeah, which in fact, do you know what? It's not been 50 years with nothing. We're now out there among the stars, they're just not letting us know. And that's where my conspiracy, sci-fi loving brain comes in. My romanticism and my human endeavour comes in.
It's what I am holding on to without a shadow of a doubt. That's exactly what's happening. But I'm just thinking, even if we're taking what Ben Rich said out of context, he still said it, and he still said it for a purpose. So let's just pretend for a second that without failure, because there's no one sat there recording it or scribed it. You know,
Yeah.
This has come out in a different way. Someone's reported in an alumni speech, but let's just say, let's deconstruct that sentence that couple of sentences for a second. We already have the means to travel among the stars, which means we've got amazing tech. It doesn't mean it's ET.
I mean, we were celebrating, was it 2 years ago? We were celebrating Voyager as being the first man-made object to leave our solar system.
Correct, yeah.
And then this guy in what, 93 is going, oh yeah, we're travelling among the stars. Which I'm between galaxy to galaxy, mate. It's like...
And this is independent of NASA.
We beat the horn every time we pass Voyager to take the piss out of it, you know?
So, people need to realise that NASA's a completely different entity that is
It's a
wholly
public entity, not
wholly
yeah.
dependent upon the government to give it money. Whereas projects are completely different. What do you need? Just spend it scenario. We'll find the money from somewhere. But we already have the means to travel to the stars, brilliant. These technologies will be block projects that will take an act of God to benefit humanity. Basically weaponised, most of the time.
Yeah, because I fully believe as well that, we see it with the PPE procurement in COVID at the beginning of the 2020, that it went to like 9 million went to a UK firm that's never delivered never delivered PPE before.
Not even
and
one yet.
And it was a contract that was won by a company whose CEO is the wife of a Tory MP or something, and we.
What rabbit hole are you about to take me down?
And we see I think we had a contract that was 4 ferries, multi-billion pound contract for 4 ferries given to a company that don't build ferries and stuff like that.
That was fun.
So, we see that corruption going on daily. Do we think this technology is going to see the light of day where it can benefit humanity? Or we're going to see it siphoned off, when it becomes outside the CIA, outside their remit, is it going to be, oh yeah, it's not the CIA that owns these ships anymore, it's Dave who used to run interplanetary operations, he retires and takes over this technology?
I think the only time we see this type of tech, if we say the TR3B is real for a second, about being able to not have to use general fuel, we'd have to wait till fossil fuels run out. So you'd have to wait there's no value in fossil fuel before you get to this tech.
Well, this is the thing, right? Let's look at the practical implications of the conspiracy for a minute, right? So, if America turn around tomorrow and when we've got this engine, for want of a better word, that produces, we superheat plasma, we spin it around and it creates this amount of energy. If we put it down smaller, we can put it into your home. And then you're off the grid. You can power all the electricity in your home. You don't have to pay for electricity ever again. You can power your home off it. Middle East is fucked overnight.
Absolutely.
Russia loses its place as a superpower because it has no oil reserves. Middle East doesn't have the petro. The petrodollar just fucking destabilises governments left, right and centre. So, what you just said there, where this technology will come out once we run out of fossil fuels, kind of has merit, because if a country came out tomorrow and just went, we've got this superheated plasma coil, it can generate, it costs £1,000 to get it in your home, but you never have to pay for electric again, or gas or electric.
Well, you'd have to fuel it somehow though. You'd have to heat it and stuff though.
Yeah, but if you say, we set up with these isotopes and it needs changing once every 100 years, you switch it on and it goes for 100 years. Or if it goes for 50 years or 10 years.
Or whatever it is, it's cheaper than fuel.
Yeah, if it's £1,000 every 10 years, there's no environmental fallout from it, there's no toxic waste, there's no CO2 emissions, and you can power your entire house for £1,000 a year. £1,000 every 10, 50 years. Oil's gone. Middle East is fucked.
All day long.
That nice shiny city they've got in Dubai is fucking empty in a year.
But Saudi Arabia, they're talking about the fact that they're going to stop talking about fossil fuels and they're building something else. I can't remember what it was now. But they are going down the idea of saying we're starting to walk away from fossil fuel because we've got the idea of something I honestly cannot remember.
So going back to it, where it's saying it would take an act of God
to
ever see this benefit humanity, is it basically going the way humanity's built? Like, you can't just go, oh, we've got this, we could solve the world's energy crisis, we could solve global warming tomorrow. Yeah, we could. But if America came out with that, the Middle East is fucked. Forget the Cold War. Russia were attacking America to get that. And how do you monetize that?
It goes all the way back to Tesla, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's going back to Tesla now where you can't monetize wireless. So it's just that thing of, it's an act of God to bring this out, because otherwise, to release this technology, it'd cause World War III. It'd cause a global war.
It would be the biggest shift, in my opinion, if we got to the position of where we...
It'd cause a paradigm shift we're not prepared for.
Yeah, it would be the biggest shift in human consciousness and human sociological interaction that we've ever seen. I think it would be bigger than going from nothing to steam. That industrial revolution was massive. It propelled our humanity so quickly into the future that as soon as that occurred, and then the microchip,
the petrol engine, electricity,
the microchip, and so on and so forth.
Electric transfer of data.
Yeah, but if this came out, this would be the biggest paradigm shift where we go, everything we know, anything we have ever thought we knew, we don't know. It would be so big. The best way to sell this would be simple iteration on top of iteration, slowly get there over all.
Yeah, like we did, we went from glass transistors to microchips. Slowly but bit by
slow thing.
I think the only thing worse than this for humanity would be the disclosure of, or the disclosure of aliens, or aliens just landing on the White House lawn, say, whatever, right? Just because so much of human society is built on religion, and God created man in His image, and we're the children of God. To see another race turn up and go, well, who the fuck created him? Religion would be gone overnight. There'd be so many questions that religion would lose its authority and society would break down.
Well, I'm sure the alien talk is another conspiracy where we talk about all those impacts, because that's a really...
Yeah, but I'm just saying that I think that's the only one of like the confirmation of aliens had just destroyed religion overnight, and that therefore would break down societies overnight.
It wouldn't, right? Because the Catholic Church for the first time said there's potentially aliens out there in God's image.
Yeah, but Catholics aren't the only religion on the planet.
No, but what I'm saying is religions are willing to change and adapt. I don't think religion will die overnight, because I think religions are...
No, but I think it'll cause chaos with society, because societies are built on religion, and then this fundamental God created us in His image. Well, does that mean... What are they then? Well, God can create them. Alright, so there's two gods then. Because God didn't create them, who created them? And so it comes all these questions where religion collapses, societies built upon religion collapse.
It's been a long time since I studied anything to do with Islam, but I'm pretty sure Islam's talks about the fact that the heavens has, or that they believe that the heavens have other planets, not just Earth. I could be wrong. Put me in the comments.
Is that the understanding of people today, though? That's what we're saying.
Potentially.
Today's society is a collapse
but
on it.
it's only about today's society, though.
Yeah. But I'm saying that is a bigger thing. I think this is probably second in being able to destabilise society, because whereas one, you're destabilising the psyche of human beings, and our societies are built on, whether you're religious or not, we live in a Judeo-Christian country. Our beliefs, our laws are built upon Christianity.
It's probably more in name now than anything else.
I mean, our laws are still rooted in them. The majority of our laws are based on the Ten Commandments, and then we've progressed up them from there. But the basis of our society is still a religious basis.
Well, there's certain parts that aren't. So, as an example, you shall not covet thy neighbour, or whatever it's called.
Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit murder. There's...
But they're general shit. Like, the Bible doesn't say... well, I know we're going off one here, but...
What about the stores can't open? We're in 2021, and stores can't open on a Sunday.
Yeah.
We have Sunday trading hours.
And it legalises slavery.
No, I'm saying we have Sunday trading hours in supermarkets, because that's the Sabbath day.
So it picks and chooses what it wants from religion. So society's not necessarily built on anything.
No, but I'm saying certain aspects of society are. So why can Morrison's open 8 AM till 11 PM Monday to Saturday?
Capitalism, baby.
But it has to close at 5 PM on a Saturday, because that's Sunday opening hours. Where does Sunday opening hours, and you go back to the 80s, what Sunday opening hours were, where does Sunday opening hours come from?
But it's not true. Because Sainsbury's local can open 7 till 11 every single day of the week.
Yeah, but that's to store under a certain amount, because we changed the Sunday, when Sunday opening hours changed, when the big supermarkets came about in the 80s, we changed it to, they have to stop on Sunday, so local off licenses have a fair chance of trade. So, and then now recently we've had Tesco Express and Sainsbury's
Yeah.
Local, which is just fucking shady as fuck.
But
The point I'm trying to make is those original Sunday trading hours came out of religious societies.
yeah.
So even though we're not religious today, we still have remnants of it.
Okay. So going back to Ben Rich just for a second, the critics do say though, I would just need to caveat what we just said. So critics say that either Ben Rich did not make the comment about ETs, or he's not serious. And they say that the point that Rich first used a statement to conclude his speech in 1983, shortly after the Steven Spielberg extraterrestrial ET hit the big screen, and that it was more of an in-joke, and because he received a positive
Reaction from the crowd on
It's
the
continued
finish,
to
he
use
done it
it.
again, yeah.
Um,
Kind of like his signature sign-off.
But at the same time, though, what we're saying here is we believe in the same thing. So we have to believe that he made a speech in 1983, and then we have to believe that he made a speech in 1994 on both occasions. That so either we believe one or the other, or we don't believe either. But it's still.
But if he made it in 83 and then made it again in 94, that's a 10-year difference. But
So if I
going
go
back to what we were saying earlier,
93.
93, sorry. But going back to what we said earlier, that the military's black projects are 50 years ahead of ours, is not wrong in either case then.
Well,
And I have this thing with people giving speeches.
you asked me a question there. I looked up to the sky, but I don't know how to answer.
I have this thing with people giving speeches where I think, and I have no basis for this other than my gut feeling, is that when you get these prominent speakers and they drop this little weird line like we have the ability to travel between the stars, no one fucking know. But I mean, you're in the know. You probably know more than I do about this. Like you dropping something that you shouldn't do. And it always, when I see speeches like this, you see it happen a lot. Always takes back to that Neil Armstrong speech, where he talked about the layers of truth were slowly getting peeled away one by one, and it's like that seemed very coded, like he was trying to say as much as he could without saying anything that get him into trouble. And I know it's used by moon conspiracy hoaxers to prove that we didn't land there, but it's like, me personally, I think we're like, no, yeah, we went to the moon and we landed on the moon, we did definitely do that, and I was the first man to walk on the moon. But you don't know what we've done after that.
Do you know what? I wish we'd have fucking covered that in the fucking moon landing, because there was a couple more, like, last week's show where we were talking about the moon landing, and then just the video when they came back afterwards.
We did cover that.
But I went back home and I was just like, I wish we'd have covered more. But it was a fucking long video anyway. Yeah. Anyway, go and watch that one. That was a belter.
That was a good video.
It was.
But no, going back to that speech thing, I think there's this trend of, this head of Lockheed has come out and said, oh yeah, just in an alumni speech that's not broadcast over, but he knows it's going to be carried forward.
Yeah.
But no recording, so he can't pin it on it. Oh no, people.
Can't pin it on me.
I didn't say that. People are reporting that. I didn't say it.
It's true.
I think that Neil Armstrong speech was recorded on video, so that's how I've seen it.
It was.
But he was very coded. He didn't go, oh yeah, we can travel among the stars. He just went, as the years go by, the layers of truth fall away.
Well, do you know what it was?
And it's like, what? Like, me personally wasn't him going, oh yeah, well, bit by bit we pull the truth away, we find out we never landed on the moon, I didn't go there. My whole life's a hoax. I think he's going, yeah, we went to the moon and then we stopped. But you don't know we've got this fleet up there, you don't know we've got this going on.
And this is true, and I'm not sure if it's Buzz Aldrin, because I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. Where he was talking about, he believes they were followed.
Yeah, it's Buzz Aldrin think he spotted a craft and he was followed, and
they had conversations with NASA, and they just said, well, we're not fucking airing that.
Yeah.
And other astronauts have come forward and said...
John Glenn? I don't think he was
John Glenn?
John Glenn, yes, not, it was Michael Collins, Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong.
Yes, it was in the first
one. It was John Glenn.
In 12?
On another one, I think it was, who said that there's a ship, there's something out there, it's following us.
Yeah. So, astronauts themselves have come forward and said that sort of thing. I mean, that's an alien talk, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
I'd say the point I was trying to make was, we get these speeches where, Neil Armstrong's talking about the laser trip. I don't think it was the hoax we land on the moon, I think it's the layer of, we land on the moon, but you don't know what we've been doing after, because he was quite old when he gave that speech, when he was like 40 years after he landed on the moon or something, or 30 years after he landed on the moon.
He was getting there. Yeah.
It was in the 80s or 90s he gave it. But, yeah, I think he's hinting at what what we're doing. Like the laser tube getting peeled away, you're going to see what we've really been up to for the last 40 years. You think we've not gone back? Watch. It's slowly we're peeling that away. But these always seem to be in alumni speeches, where it's just like, I've left my job as an astronaut, I've only got about 10 years left, I'm 80 years old, I'm giving this speech to a university, I'm going to drop this little fucking kernel in there to get people talking and get people looking in the right place. Like, oh yeah, you're all looking, you've got all this information, thinking, look here, look at that. And same again here with Rich, he's used to be in chat, he's left Lockheed, he's retired at this point.
Yep.
He's just dropping this little bit in there to go and look over there. You see, there's a pattern with these alumni speeches, what I'm saying. You can find so many more of them. Where they're not going on TV and saying it, they're not writing books about it. They're not going on a multi-million-pound speaking tour.
But they're going in a place where they know it's going to get out.
Where minds are ready to explore, minds are being cultivated to explore. They're not going to news stations where it's going to be twisted or they speak to an auditorium full of young minds who are the best scientific minds of their time, who are going out into the world and going, on your way out into the world, take this with you.
But
this is your, I've done my job, this is your responsibility now.
But at the same time, it could just be
fanciful thinking and romanticism.
And just, you know.
But to me, it's just this trend that they're always alumni speeches.
But you got to remember though, Lockheed Martin is the go-to place for anything right now for when you're talking tech and aerospace.
Well,
shall we move on a little?
Yeah. Sorry, we're getting involved.
We've talked about black budgets, about where money might come from. We've talked about how ultimately tech is so far advanced that we can't even imagine.
Yeah.
GPS is a perfect example. If you just said somebody in 75 GPS, they'd have gone, what?
Yeah.
I can't even imagine GPS. And in 2000 or whatever it was, whenever it came out, it's like, this is the best thing ever, but that's 30, 40 years after the
No, we bounce radio signals up into space. It hits a satellite and it broadcasts that radio signal over the world. It's amazing. Like, no. I've got this little box in my car that can tell me exactly where in the world I am.
Yeah. And
I want to go 7,000 miles away and it'll tell me every fucking turn to take. Not only which way to go, but the quickest route.
And
you know,
implying Blessed's voice if you want to.
Oh, Yoda, no.
Yeah.
I didn't remember.
Turn left, Gordon!
Remember, I don't think they're a thing anymore, but you remember Tom Tom?
Yes.
I don't think
they are still a thing there.
I'm going to assume now, because we've all got Android phones with Google on them, no one uses Tom Tom anymore or all that, but I remember when my mum, she was really impressed because she first got Tom Tom, and she was really chuffed with it, and then she went, oh, you need to update the maps on it so and I'm the one that knew computers, right? So it's like, can you update the maps on it?
It's like the Amstrad.
Like, yeah, of course I can. I think, well, no, we're on fucking AOL dial-up at the time, right? And I'm like, yeah, of course I can. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I can read the book and I can look online and find, oh yeah, I know how to do it. I'll learn how to do it now. I'll do that. And I'm like, update the maps and stuff like that. I can do what? Yep. And for the next 3 months, my mum was driving with Robin Williams as Mork from Mork and Mindy. Nanu, turn left, Shazbat.
Your poor mother.
No, it's just going. But what's this one? I know you asked me all that. I updated it. That's what it did.
That was just the update. It's the more committed update.
And then we went, right, no, Taco, you need to fix it, bro. We need to get rid of that. You need to change the voice back. Like, all right, I'll change the voice back. And then it became Yoda. And then a really shit Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Turn left, you will.
It was like, 500 yards left, you shall turn. So just like,
fucking hell.
Oh, I would have dick. I love that.
Aren't you glad you watched this channel?
So it just reminded me of that. He was like, I changed those voices just because I fucking could. But if you told someone in the 60s, we've got this technology that can...
Yeah, exactly.
That can map you wherever you are in the world. Like, you could be 7,000 miles away from home, and you can have this little screen in your hand, and it'll tell you exactly which way to go to get back to your house on your street, so it's exactly where you are. You go, fuck off, no, we can't. When it came out in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, it came out and it was like, gee, sat nav, these are amazing. Military's going, you've had them since fucking 60s.
Right.
How do you think we knew where to bomb?
Well, they're not very good at that now. let's not use bombs as an example.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? It's like
here's a whole wedding. Bang. But shall we get on to I think it's I think the important thing here is that there's been a bit of talk here about how you could fund such a project.
How it would operate.
Yeah. People from Lockheed Martin are sort of saying, well, we've actually done it. How about?
But none of this is evidence.
No, but
none of this is actual corroborative evidence.
Shall we talk about some sightings now then?
These are physically seen.
Yes.
This is the dude from Lockheed going, oh, we could try amongst the stars. We've just got his word for it.
Yeah. And I still think the best sightings, based upon let's remember. I mean, I was only 8, but the first wave of these triangular shaped craft with a big orange orb in the middle and 3 triangles of orbs, the Belgian wave.
Mm-hmm.
That's from like 1989 to 1992.
Yeah.
It's not a stealth fighter bomber because the stealth fighter looks completely different.
Yeah.
So it's not stealth.
No.
At all.
And makes noise and
yeah. It's not
because these travel quite slow as well. Like
and they were stopping dead.
They were stopping it, so it's like they should have fallen out of the sky.
Yeah.
So, and then you could go, oh, what about Harrier jump jets? Well, have you seen a Harrier?
Hear the fuckers as well.
Have you seen a Harrier jump jet stay still in midair?
Yeah.
It makes a fucking right noise.
It does, and it doesn't have an orb in the middle.
No.
So, the 1989 to 1992 Belgian wave, I remember this being one of the reasons, actually, one of the big reasons why I started believing in UFOs. Because I saw, it was all over the UK news, and I was only young and impressionable, of course.
Yeah.
But these big triangular shaped objects, massive, you're standing, people taking photos, and the best video the footage I could do at the time. Very difficult to fake at the time as well, unless you're in the wrong studio. It's not like now where you can go to Photoshop and digitally change stuff on your iPhone. It's not like that at all. We're talking about 30 years ago. This was not easy shit to fix.
This is why I think we're past the golden age of conspiracy now, because you can check a photo and change the lighting and the contrast and put a filter on it, and you can all that in the palm of your hand. I think we're past the golden age of conspiracy now, because any evidence you give to someone, that's digital, that's fake. And you've got so many people who just, if conspiracy takes off, people will fake footage just to go viral. Back then, this wasn't, and I think now you spoke out, so I saw UFO last night over this and this. You have more people believe you, maybe 40% believe you, 60 don't, or maybe tell you their stories when they saw one.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, if you went, oh, I saw an alien, you're like, fucking mad bastard.
Well, it became quite popular after Closer Gap to the Third Kind and E.T. though.
Yeah, but I think the Belgian wave was seen by hundreds.
And the weird thing is though, like, I'm not here to discredit Belgium in any type of way, but it's a weird country for this new type to come out of. It's like you'd expect it to be like America, Canada, UK.
Well, this is the thing, like
it's Belgium.
The sightings of
the Belgium, by
the sighting of the F-117 stealth bomber were never sighted over America. I mean, there was some triangular craft sighted over A-51 in its infancy, but on operational duties, the only sightings of it were outside of America. And I think that to me that makes sense. Like, oh, we're going to try it out, but we know how as an American, say we're British, we know how our infrastructure works, we know how our radar works, how our military works. We don't know how we know how Belgium works, but not the intricacies in it. Can we get past Belgium? Can we get past, if it gets spotted on American radar, stand down, fella, it's one of ours.
Yeah.
Orders from above, shut up, you never saw it. Whereas, can we fly over Belgium? Can we get into Belgium and out again and not get caught? That's a test of it.
Yeah.
Can we fly over the Middle East in the middle of the Gulf War and not get caught? That's how we. No, you got shut down. You need to explain what this ship is now. But you know what I mean. But that's the ultimate test, isn't it? That you can test it against. You can fly it over fucking Denver Airport and not get picked up, because they won't do. It's an NWA headquarters. But if you fly it over Heathrow and it gets picked up, you can then contact Heathrow and go, MOD, you don't follow that, delete those tapes, that's one of ours.
Yeah.
Whereas, if you fly it over Belgium, you're not at war with Belgium, they're not going to shoot back, they're not going to shoot it down. Like if you flew it over Russia, they'd fire at the fucker. If you flew it over Iraq, they fired it and brought it down. But if you flew it over Belgium, they're a non-threatening airspace.
We don't associate them as being so,
Yeah, they're a non-threatening airspace, so you can fly it over there, and if you get detected, you can get the fuck out of there, and you've got full deniability. Whereas, right, well, what? How did we get caught? What did we get caught on? Let's make it better.
Well, let's talk about the first sighting in 1989. So the first sighting in 1989, there were on 29th of November. It was documented by over 30 different groups of witnesses and police officers. So you've got.
Well, I've got here over 30 different groups of witnesses and 3 separate groups of police officers.
Groups, it could be more than one in a group. So what we're saying is, even police officers, and remember in the 80s, it was still frowned upon for officers or officials to come forward and
speak
go,
out.
look what I've seen in the sky.
It was his career ending as a pilot to say so.
Of course, yeah. And they absolutely stuck that behind.
I got as well, like, because it's 3 separate groups as well. So it was not like all 3 separate police officers. I don't know if it were groups of 2 and 4 and 6 or whatever, but 3 different groups at different locations where we saw that as well. And the thing is, all the reports.
And there was photos and videos as well.
There were photos and videos as well, but also similarities in the report. So we talked about previously on other episodes how eyewitness accounts are not fully dependent on in court because you're
on their own
because you're but you've got over 30 different groups of witnesses plus 3 groups of police officers all saying this story, and yes, there's discrepancies in them because they're eyewitness accounts, but the main core details are the same for all of them. So they all report, all of the reports related a large flying object at low altitude. The craft was of a flat triangular shape with lights underneath. This giant craft did not make a sound as it slowly moved across the landscape of Belgium. There was free sharing of information as the Belgian populace tracked this craft as it moved from the town of Liège to the border of the Netherlands and Germany.
Dropped some radar.
So this not tracked on radar. This was sharing information. So this was like someone seen it. It's like saying we saw it come over Leeds tonight, and we see it come over Leeds tonight, and we ring our mate in Dewsbury. So he keeps an eye out for it, and he sees it in 10 minutes' time, and rings his mate in Pontefract, who rings his mate in Manchester. So this wasn't like it was tracked by radar. It was tracked by people. Just ring the people. It's coming over towards your town. That's heading towards Manchester. I'm going to ring my mate it's heading towards I ring my mate in Dewsbury. And then he rings his mate in Pontefract, and he rings his mate in. So we've now got a link of free sharing information going. I've just seen this off my house, it's coming your way, can you see it? 10 minutes later, I've fucking seen it, he's saying it, I'm going to ring Dave, right, Dave got over in Wakefield, it's coming your way. Can you say this? You know what I mean? But, you know, it's that kind of thing, so this was free sharing of information that this couldn't be put back in the box. The Belgian government couldn't go, oh, this didn't happen, it was a helicopter, no, hundreds of people saw this, and it was tracked from the town of Liège all the way to the border of Netherlands and Germany, just by people ringing up and going, it's coming towards your town, it's coming up towards you. And then people start outside looking for it and going, there it is. Now, you could argue the other side of that is, to be logical, is you've been told, I told you, oh, it's coming over my house, it's going to be past you in 10 minutes, keep an eye out for it. So you're looking out for something, so you mistake something like a cloud passing through the stars.
Very specific.
No, but because you're looking for something, therefore you see it.
I suppose.
And you attribute stuff that's not there to what you do, but you begin to make it fit, and then you pass it along. So it's kind of like a game of Chinese whispers in a way.
And I've told you before, no?
Yeah.
I've told you before, though, I'm trying to remember my kids.
Can't remember what episode it is now. I don't know what episode we're on.
I don't remember either. But Chinese whispers is very, very easy. But I think you're right, though.
It's that link of Chinese whispers and also a bit of pareidolia.
Pareidolia. I'll tell you what happened though. This was back when
if you're sat looking at the sky, sat outside, looking at all the stars, looking at the sky, and then just stars get blacked out by a slow moving shape. Any other day you'd go, oh, that's a cloud moving over. But because I just rang you and told you this big triangular ship's coming, cloud moves over at stars, you now see the triangular ship I told you to look out for.
Well, I
Because you're putting what you're seeing into the context of what you're being told, so you're making it fit.
I get why you're saying that, and that's my explanation. But for me personally, I understand a lot of constellations that I can see. I know when they're going to arrive, and you know the mythology behind a lot of them. You know, looking up for me is cathartic and it's relaxing and it's a wonderful thing to look at. So if I personally saw something that I didn't recognise in the night sky, that might ask questions. If I saw something of a triangular shape that is not expected in the night sky that I could recognise, it doesn't matter if you told me or not. But
no, not about me and you personally, right? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to play devil's advocate here.
I get it.
And say that if I know people, you know, we've got friends who we know that are not like us, they're not geeks and interested in shit like we are, but if I turn out, if you turn to your mum and said, if you rang your mum and said, I've just seen this big black triangle move over, it's silent and moves really slow over the sky, it's coming your way, she goes out to garden and sees the stars and then they get blocked out by this black triangular shape that moves silently across. She goes, I've seen it as well, because she's looking for that, not realising that's any other day she'd notice that's a cloud passing over the stars.
Maybe.
So what I'm trying to say, I can see how this can be debunked. I'm not saying it is debunked. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate and give another explanation to the sightings.
I'm turning it to you this week and going, I don't believe it. It's so specific and so bright. The pictures we've seen of a big orange middle, a triangular orange.
I'm on your side here. I'm just trying to fend off comments.
I normally do devil's advocate. I now know why you don't like it. Because I can only see through my lens. In my brain, I don't think I could ever look at stars and go, that's a UFO. I would not be able to look at a star system and go, well, that's a UFO. I wouldn't be able to mistake, I don't know, Jupiter and Saturn coming close together and going, no, they're UFOs. I wouldn't be able to do it. Seeing something, the stars are fixed. In most occasions, the stars are relatively fixed. Seeing something move against their backdrop and stop and then move again against their backdrop, it's clearly not stars. No one could ever say to me, that's a star system or a cloud. I personally wouldn't be fooled by that. And I've got to say, police officers, I wouldn't think they'd be fooled by it either.
No, like we were saying, like eyewitness accounts aren't really held up in court on their own.
On one on the road, maybe.
But a police officer's account is held in more regard than a civilian's eyewitness account.
And separate groups.
Because they've been trained to give eyewitness accounts. So yeah, 3 separate groups of them. Also important to mention on this as well is that during the 89 to 90 Belgian UFO wave, 2 Belgian Air Force F-16s attempted to intercept an object detected by radar, but the pilots did not report seeing an object.
So it was cloaked, potentially.
It was picked up on radar, 2 F-16s were scrambled, but the pilots didn't report seeing an object.
That's what I mean, so it was cloaked from the naked eye, but it was still had a fuel to be able to be tracked.
Well, if it were cloaked to the naked eye, how could people on the ground see it and report it?
No, but it depends. If you could in and out of cloaking, I'm fucking playing with technology here. Going Star Trek. If you could cloak and uncloak, as an example. So we know you can't see with our eyes, but it's still detectable by radar bouncing off a cylindrical object or triangular object in this case, because it's fuel. There's something you can find. Heat sources. It doesn't mean, because one of the things about electromagnetism is you'll bend space,
bend light around,
so you'll see behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So if this TR3B is like what the patent says and what people have said and what your guy said on, not your guy, but the guy you, it's not your man.
My guy on the inside.
Not telling anyone, but the guy you were talking about, it's not implausible to say, because, not to go on for a complete another tangent, but the the Americans found a way that they could cloak a tank already with in our 21st century shite technology in comparison, where they could make a tank invisible by just projecting behind the tank in front of it. So if it's not from the side you see it, but from the front you can't see a thing. In the same way that I might know that tank's there, but radar's going, there's a fucking tank. You know? Just because I can't see it doesn't mean it's not there.
I think there's a lot simpler explanation for it than that.
were they pissed?
The pilots did not report seeing any object.
Well, the start they didn't report it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's 80s again.
It's 89, 90.
Suicide.
This is career suicide.
Yeah.
What were up there? No, I think there was a report that maybe went up somewhere, up the chain of command somewhere, but publicly they didn't report, oh, we want to fly again.
No, I think you're right, actually. It's quite clever. Yeah.
It's just me. It doesn't say. It says two Belgian Airport. It doesn't say two Belgian Air Force F-16s attempted to intercept an object detected by radar, but did not see an object, but did not report seeing an object. That word "report" is important for me.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's a lot more simple. It's just a case of like, what it didn't see it. Like, get debriefed. What we saw this. Boom, 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 boom. Great detail of what we saw. Right. Now put your report in. Didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Or did you reporting? They didn't report seeing an object.
They're just fearful of their careers.
Or maybe just being told, alright, that's your report that's going up there, now put this report out there.
And that's not uncommon.
That's not uncommon at all. I think that's a lot simpler way of doing it. A bigger sighting than the Belgian wave was 7 years later.
Phoenix.
Yes.
Wow. Oh man, I love the Phoenix lights.
The Phoenix lights are amazing.
I didn't quite like the fact that, is it the mayor or whatever came out in a fucking alien suit.
Yeah.
But he later went, I'm fucking really sorry. You guys saw what you saw, and he's redacted that.
Yeah, he sort of had a bit of fun with it, and I've got a lot. I'm not a straight-laced politician. I could have some fun and went, I was having a joke. I didn't mean to upset. I'm really sorry you all saw this. I believe you know.
Yeah. Like the Phoenix lights. I mean, I've heard. No, for people who don't know the Phoenix lights, honestly,
So
go on
this was-
YouTube and fucking watch them.
This was a
Brilliant.
widely reported appearance of black triangles involved in the Phoenix Lights events, during which multiple unidentified objects were observed near Phoenix, Arizona, and videotaped by both the local media and residents beginning on Thursday, 13th March 1997. Some of the observed objects and lights appeared to be grouped in a large V formation that lingered for several minutes. Some residents reported one of the black triangles be over a mile wide and drifted slowly over their houses, blocking out stars in the night sky. An official report from the US Air Force concluded that the military had been locally testing aircraft-launched flares during that time period.
I remember seeing this.
I've seen a documentary that I'm trying to find for tonight so I can put the clip in now and I can't find it. It was where they superimposed the hills over the flares and then digitally removed the hill out. So you could see the lights come across as they go behind the mountain. But then if you take the mountain out and it's just flares landing and they kind of prove conclusively it's flares. But there's some images going, no, they're moving differently.
The reason why
The video you see with the flares going behind the mountain, that goes, these are flares, it goes behind the mountain, that proves the flares. The flares move a little bit differently to what they do on the actual video film of it. So, yeah, it never hold weight with me. I don't believe there were flares.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was balls deep in UFO mythology back in 1997. I was all over it. X-Files.
Oh, the Phoenix Lights were by Roswell.
Yeah. They had me by the short and curlers is this. But and that's just full disclosure before I even get into this. But because the reason why the flares might be right is because, well, just on the flares itself, the lights appeared one by one. They didn't all
in sequence.
It wasn't just a big ship appearing.
They were like blink.
Yeah, and they all blinked on and then blinked off in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, as I say, let's tell the masses it's this. Well, actually, that's a really good explanation.
It fits it really, really well.
Yeah. But what I didn't see is when the new flares came on, I didn't see a craft dropping them.
No.
I didn't see anything dropping. It just stayed where it was.
Yeah.
It didn't. There was no burst of it just stayed exactly where it was.
These weren't flares that were steadily falling.
No. It just stayed where it was and blinked on and off.
Yeah.
And I remember being quite upset at the time by them saying it was flares, because I was like, that's not what I think I'm seeing.
I remember getting quite angry because I think it was the first time I started questioning media. Even though I was balls deep in UFO, like I was saying to yourself, balls deep in UFO mythology and stuff, and it was like, but you could still believe what they told on the news. The news always told you the truth. And then I was watching this, and it's like, you're trying really hard to prove it's flares, and you're not looking at other possibilities or not. And it was, these are flares, mocking the eyewitness account. These are flares, mocking the eyewitness account. This is why it were flares, mock the eyewitness account. This is how the flares were deployed, mock the eyewitness account. And it was like, you're trying really hard to tell me these are flares, and that's like a red flag in my head going, you want me to believe they're flares too much.
Really want to believe a lot.
Yeah. I kind of think the lady does protest too much.
But the one thing I would say is, it's when I looked at the triangular shape, it didn't have a glowing orb in the middle.
No, it didn't.
So for me, and it didn't have any. It wasn't like the one at the front, one at the side, and one in the middle. It wasn't a TR3B sighting.
No, but this was fucking massive compared to the sightings over Belgium. It's like a mile wide.
Yeah, but it's not TR3B.
No, but is it an extension of it? Is this like the TR3G or something? Or because I was looking online today, and there's stuff like the TR3G, something like it's like 2 football fields long or something.
Okay.
Actually, no, it's not. It's back with Mr. Foosh. It's back with Mr. Foosh actually, where he says the TR3B is 600 metres long. I think it's the size of 2 football fields.
It's about a third of a mile.
So yeah, the guy who writes this article was, I was extremely sceptical of Mr. Foosh's claim size for the TR3B of 600 feet across. At first I thought this must be a typo. Why would anyone in their right mind build a tactical reconnaissance vehicle 2 football fields long? They must be nuts. However, the answer to this may also be found in Dr. Forward's paper. As Dr. Forward puts it, even the most optimistic calculations indicate that very large devices will be required to create unstable gravitational forces. Anti-gravity, like all modern sciences, will require special projects involving large sums of money, men and energy. And that bit I'm about with where he mentions Dr. Forward is linked in that article earlier on. But yeah, so it's like, yeah, I remember like it being quite big, but could this be an upgrade from TR3B? Could this be a launch ship? Could this be a mothership where it launches TR3Bs out of it?
Don't let me talk about that in this video. I think because we're specifically talking TR3B.
Are we saying the Phoenix Lights is not a TR3B sighting then?
It doesn't fit the narrative of what TR3B is.
It don't fit for me. It's in there with them, just because it's a black silent triangular craft.
But it's still, if that was a real craft, it's enormous.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is though, it's actually shaped similar to the TR3A.
Yeah.
But the TR3A is not that big. So, but the TR3B being triangular specifically, as you say though, it could be.
Project Aurora triangular. The SR-71 Blackbird looks triangular in flight.
So it could be.
F-117 stealth bomber, F-117A is triangular.
The big ship's triangular, and it could be an offshot of that. You know, it could be the successor to the TR3B.
I think it's the mothership that launches the TR3Bs.
Control that.
So what about the 2000 Southern Illinois incident? Have you not got this one?
I saw it on telly, I think.
There's not much I could find about this. Seeing it on telly is the correct answer, to be fair. The St. Clair Triangle UFO of Illinois, or also known as the South Illinois UFO or Highland Illinois UFO, sighting occurred on January 5th, 2000 over the towns of Highland, Dupont, Lebanon, Silo, Summerfield, Millstadt and O'Fallon, Illinois. Began shortly after 4 a.m. The incident was featured in several television shows, including Seeing is Believing,
that's it.
a Discovery Channel special, UFOs over Illinois, and an episode of the sci-fi series proved positive.
I'm sure we've seen this, but it was definitely on a conspiracy show, I think.
Yeah. There's not much I could find about this other than that, really. And
it's on YouTube, though, I think.
Yeah, but it's that thing of YouTube, like, how there's no way of telling if that is camcorder footage from 2000 or some digitally created footage from last week.
All you can do is look at when it was posted. I think I saw when it posted in 2007, I think.
Yeah, but it's, I couldn't, but again, this is the problem with TR3B becomes we're going into murky water now as we come further up, is that black triangular craft must be a TR3B, which we said, the Phoenix Lights black triangular craft, that's a TR3B, but it don't fit the narrative or the description of the other TR3B sightings.
Yeah.
And then, again, we've got 2004-2006 Tinley Park lights.
Again, this is another one where I think I remember, actually. Is it 2005, did you say?
2004-2006 Tinley Park lights.
Because I think this is one of the first ones where they go, there's lots of people saw it, geometrically the same.
That's the exact word I'm going to need. 3 red lights hovered
How the fuck do I remember this? I'm fucking pissed. How do I remember this?
3 red lights hovered in a triangular formation was seen by several witnesses in Tinley Park and Oak Forest, Illinois. So it's Illinois again. On August 21st, 2004. 2 months later, on October 31st, 2004. Again on October 1st, 2005. And once again on October 31st, 2006. The lights were captured on video by some witnesses. According to some ufologists, the video evidence suggests that the lights kept a geometrical shape and moved as if they were attached to each other through a dark object. The incident was examined in a Dateline NBC episode on May 18, 2008, and in the episode's Invasion, Illinois, of the television series UFO Hunters, premiered on the History Channel on October 2009-2008.
Told you about ballsy.
So, as anyone knows about this, we're big fans of the History Channel for factual information.
We love it.
But
it's a source of all truth.
And I don't have anything. I don't really have an opinion on Dateline NBC. I've never watched it. I couldn't tell you.
I don't even know what Dateline is.
I know Dateline's a show in America, but I've never watched it. But
it sounds like Grindr or something.
But this would again. So we had the 2000 incident in Illinois, over Highland, Illinois. So it went over Highland, Dupont, Lebanon, Silo, Summerfield, and Midstadt, and O'Fallon, Illinois, on January 5th, 2000. And then over Tinley Park and Oak Forest, Illinois, on August 21st, 2004, October 31st, 2004, October 1st, 2005, and October 31st, 2006. So these were a lot of regular black triangular craft sightings over Illinois.
And it's weird that the thing that I found really strange is, and I don't know if it's just a furore or once someone's had a reporting before, they'll keep reporting the same thing.
Like a mass hysteria, delusion. Not a mass delusion, but a kind of.
But
yeah.
What we found in ufology is you'll see certain areas are classed as UFO hotspots.
Yeah.
And that particular area will report the same thing over and over and over again. And the thing I struggle with, because I've not seen those areas with my own eyes, is once you've heard a report, then do you see what you think they saw?
This is what I was saying about the Belgian flyover and stuff. Like, just out of curiosity, do you know where the biggest UFO hotspot in the UK is?
I do not know, actually.
Do you want to hazard a guess?
It's got to be on the coast, I think. It's got to be, I would say probably the east coast, probably Bridlington or Whitby or Filey or something.
Swansea.
Swansea? That's got little crackheads.
Take from that what you will.
I won't set you up.
So, let's just move on to explanations, because we've talked about sightings, so let's move on to explanations.
Okay.
Alright, so I've got here, according to popular mechanics, military aircraft may be responsible for a number of black triangle UFO reports. The TR3A Black Manta is the name of the surveillance aircraft of the United States Air Force, speculated to be developed under a black project, with several reported sightings of a flying triangle aircraft over Antelope Valley, an area of desert in Southern California. This stretch of desert draws people interested in potential black project aircraft because it's close to several non-military research and testing areas, such as Edwards Air Force Base in California and United Air Force Force Plant 42. I'm going to go into the next bit. I'm just going to stop there. So that...
You said the keyword for me again. All of these big aircraft typically are found next to military Air Force bases.
Mm-hmm. But I think right at the beginning you mentioned the TR3A Black Manta. And these reports, they found these sightings over Antelope Valley, which, you know, you've got Edwards Air Force Base and United States Air Force Force Plan 42, which are both military research and testing areas. This is, yeah, if you're going to go find a black project flight, that's where you're going to go see it. You want to see a black triangle, go to Antelope Valley. That's where they fly over. You know, they're going to test these fuckers somehow and make sure they fly.
Correct.
So then, off of that, the TR3A was said to be a subsonic stealth spy plane with a flying wing design. So the flying wing is the big triangle shape. Yeah. It was alleged to have been used in the Gulf War.
Oh, it was.
To provide laser designation for Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk bombers. So this is where we get the idea came to popularity of painting the target.
Yeah. So drop a bomb here. Here's the laser. Drop it in. And flame go over. Okay, drop it there. Yeah.
So during the Gulf War, it was we had this fella.
The first Gulf War.
Yeah, the first Gulf War. Sorry, right? We had this fella said that the SAS were painting targets. So you'd send an SAS guy in 2 days before you were going to bomb somewhere, and he'd have to get over the border and infiltrate Iraq and get into position and he'd point this little laser pen, and the bomb could come in on that laser pen.
Yeah.
And the reason that fallacy was created was because we had the fucking TR3A in that altitude going, there's the laser.
And it's like, we can't tell them it's that. Who did it?
Oh yeah, we have this weird.
What
We got these Marines and SAS. They're on the ground. They're sneaking in there. They're like fucking Rambo, and you can't see them.
It's got all his crayons.
And he's just it's not fucking Ringo Starr. It's not walking behind Ringo Starr on Saddam's palace.
Why not? Shit for speed.
It'd amaze me if it was just like
Ringo's been here.
do we send in there? We've got the best of the best jet SAS that can go in and put these lasers on the boat. No, don't worry. We've got Ringo and a box of crayons. Off you go, lad. Go on, off you go, chap.
I was here.
Ringo Starr. Boom.
And if you've never seen it, before, go watch his
Go
Paul
watch the
McCartney
very
tape.
first episode.
Go watch his Paul McCartney, because this will make more sense and it'll offend even more people.
And Craig only does this because of the ending of the Simpsons episode. So
And you baited me. I'm going to bait you constantly forever.
But no, I love this idea because I remember when the Gulf War were happening. We were quite young, the first Gulf War.
10?
Yeah.
11 or something, yeah.
And I were hearing stories about how the SAS getting over enemy lines and getting past patrols and shining these laser pens so the bombs could come in and target. And actually now we're being told, no, it was a TR3A, it was a subsonic stealth plane with a flying wing design, and it was used in the Gulf War to provide laser designation. So these stories of these like heroic SAS soldiers.
30 years later, it's not. Yeah.
Bollocks, no, we had this secret spy plane that was just pinpointing locations for bombs to go to. The TR3 was claimed to have been manufactured by Northrop, and according to Popular Mechanics, there's little evidence to support TR3's existence.
Who are Northrop?
Northrop are. Just bring it with the accent.
Never heard of them before.
I didn't them. So the Northrop Corporation. Northrop Corporation was an American aircraft manufacturer.
Was.
From its formation in 1939 until its 1994 merger with Grumman to Northrop Grumman, the company is known for its development of the flying wing design, most successfully the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber.
It's a stealth. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they've got form here. So it was supposedly developed by Northrop. According to Popular Mechanics, there is little evidence to support TR3's existence. However, it speculates that Black Triangle UFO reports associated with Black Manta could be a technological demonstrator for a potential new generation tactical reconnaissance aircraft. So what they're saying is, we don't really have much evidence that the TR3A existed. There's kind of hints that it was used to laser detonate bombs in the Gulf War, but it's never been declassified that it exists. We've had some evidence it was manufactured by Northrop, But again, let them consider it. So they think the TR3B is just, this existed in the Gulf War, and it's come out, it's called the TR3. Then what we're seeing since the Gulf War is the TR3B. This is just an upgrade on the spy plane that they use then.
So I will say that I'm sure people from YouTube can go look at it. I'm not saying that YouTube is the source of all truth because it's fucking full of fallacy.
Yeah.
But I know that some ISS footage is seeing craft coming out of our atmosphere, just like levitating out of our atmosphere, triangular shapes as well. That's from a direct ISS feed before it got shut down.
I mean, there's a lot. It's probably going to be, that'll be an episode in itself later on. Is just shut down ISS feeds.
Yeah, it might be
because it happens a hell of a lot.
It does. They blame it on the fact that light becomes too bright and it shuts the camera off. But
it always happens just as something's moving the way it shouldn't do, and then it cuts out. And
absolutely, but I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going to go next. But
to me, with this, for me, this proves the existence of TR3B.
Not proof.
Not proof, but pulls me towards believing in it, shall we say. The fact that it's too specific in its claims. Like this was used. It's a subsonic stealth spy plane with a flying wing design. Now we knew we had flying wing designs in the Gulf when the F-117 got shot down. The Nighthawk got shot down. Sorry, but it was used to laser designation for Lockheed F-117 Nighthawk bombers, which is the stealth delta wing bomber, developed by Northrop. Which, when you look at Northrop, and like, oh yeah, their primary design is delta wing bombers. There's a lot that kind of like, this doesn't prove it exists, but if you follow up on every little crumb of information in there, it kind of points to it does.
I think
if you could look there and go, it's claimed to be developed by Northrop, and then all I did was click on Northrop there, and it comes up with the first thing that comes up is Northrop is American. Their company is known for its development of the flying wing design, more successful with the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber.
It's a logical leap.
It's not like, I saw this, therefore this. It's like, this is fill in the blanks.
Again, a logical leap. Yeah, it's
I don't think it's a leap. I think it's just connecting the dots or filling in the blanks. Really.
Without evidence, it's a leap. Of course it is.
No, but to be a leap to go like, so it would paint in laser guided, laser designation for laser guided bombs in Gulf War, and therefore that proves the existence of a interstellar spacecraft that Rich would talk about earlier. That's a leap. To go, this delta wing stealth bomber, stealth spy plane that was used to laser guide stealth bombers in, developed by a company who's famous for building a stealth bomber delta wing. That's just filling in the blanks. I don't think there's a leap there.
But
a leap is to get from point 1 to point 5. You have to leap over 2, 3, and 4. This to me is going, you're getting 1, 2, 3. I might be going to 5 instead of 4, but it's not too hard to get there. You know what I mean?
I get it, but
it's a logical step, not a leap.
Okay, I'll accept that. Yeah. But we are trying to tie two things together that may not necessarily have a relationship.
No, but not saying there's a relationship in facts and
with takeovers.
Yeah. Right, where we can go, this happened, that happened, so we can see how A happened, B happened, so we can see how C probably happened. To go, A happened, B happened, and now we have a anti-gravity interstellar capable craft.
Okay.
That's not C.
I get
it. In this bit here, this paragraph here is like, I can see this is where the TR3B gets, but this gives more credence to its existence. Yeah. They're not saying it's a spacecraft or it's interstellar, but they built this, they built that. these are the sightings. I can see how that's a thing.
And Lockheed Martin as well are at
Yeah.
the tip of the spear of everything technological, aerospace.
It'd be interesting to see if Northrop own any shares in or have any shares owned
Or
by
a relationship
Lockheed
of any
Martin.
kind. But
Yeah.
we need to be careful as well, though. We were talking, I can't remember which episode it was talking now, where we were saying, no, it was the moon landing one. We were saying, just because you build one thing doesn't necessarily mean you see the whole picture.
Yeah.
So even if Northrop are building something, doesn't mean they see the whole picture about what the whole true picture looks like. So I don't.
Well, I didn't mention a story in that. I didn't mention the moon landing. I think I mentioned it before in another one where I think we talked about Concorde coming over when we were kids, and my granddad built the engines for Concorde, and he was immensely proud that he built those engines.
A part of it, yeah.
He built that engine. That one on the left, that's mine. I didn't know. Fucking I don't know if it were or not, but he built the engine.
He believed it anyway.
And he brought out the blueprints when I rolled. He brought out the blueprints that he smuggled out of the factory for the engine that he had and stuff. And I've still got them in a box somewhere. But he built the engine for Concorde. He's really proud of it. But he knew we were building an engine at the time. Didn't know what was going on. He wasn't so Concorde's made and fly that he knew he built the engine for Concorde.
Right. Well.
He just built this amazingly technically advanced engine, and he was part of building it. He didn't have any designing, inventing it or designing it, or he just got told you put these bits together, and he in the factory floor or the fabrication shop, whatever you call it, and he we'll put this on there, we'll put that bit on there, and that's built and off it goes. Like we're about on the moon landing, the guy that put the washer in the rocket and went, I did that. That was my granddad just going, I built this engine. He didn't know it was for Concorde, he didn't know it was for subsonic flight. He just got told you met this bit of metal and you bend it that way and you put these bits in here.
Here's some blueprint to build it.
Yeah, that's all. He didn't know if it was subsonic flight or a military aircraft or whatever. So yeah, I can see that the step in logic here is a step in logic, not a leap. If they built this and they've built that and they're famous for building this, but they're going to be, if you've used them 3 times already, they've built you 3 spy planes already, you're going to build a 4th spy plane, who are you going to go to? The guys who built your last 3.
Well, you're going to go to Lockheed Martin, because they are the head of...
Well, no, Lockheed Martin built the stealth bombers, but Northrop built the TR3A, and Northrop built the B-2 Spirit glider.
Well, I'm thinking of the 21st century lens earlier, aren't I, again? I'm thinking of where we're on today, rather than when we were then.
So, we know for the fact that Black Hawk projects exist.
Yes, dickhead,
we know the black budget's there. We talked about it at length. We know the greatest plane ever made.
Are you so calm right now?
Because you're talking about close, I'm closing.
I'm fucking bubbling like a fucking volcano.
We know the greatest plane ever made, which is the SR-71 Blackbird, came out of black budgets.
No, it's a fucking Concorde.
The SR-71, as much as I love Concorde and my grandma built it, the SR-71 is just fucking amazing. Every aspect is fantastic. Probably the greatest plane ever built. We know Project Aurora were a precursor to the TR3 project. We know Area 51 and the bases around Antwerp Island are used for experimental aircraft. So, can the TR3B exist? Yes. Is it a spy reconnaissance plane? Yes. Is it a spacefaring plane? Possibly. The technology, we know the military technology is 50 years ahead of commercial technology, so I don't think I'm completely illogical by going it could be a spacefaring plane as well. So, in closing, does I believe the TR3B exists as a black project spy plane? Yes, that believes. And despite everything we spoke about tonight, I think I've seen one.
So,
in 1998, while I was camping out in Grassington, I saw right in Grassington, there's no lights, there's no nothing, beautiful starry sky out the Yorkshire Dales, and I saw a dense black triangle, and I know you've got a black triangle against the black sky. The triangle was blacker than the sky behind it. 3 orange lights, an orange light at each corner and an orange light in the middle. It hovered over me for about 4, maybe 5 seconds, and just went, just silently just fucked off and went. So even though we've gone through this in depth tonight and all the sightings and stuff like that, and
for this bullshit, but yeah.
with the Illinois and the Tinley Park and the Phoenix Lights and the Belgian Wave, and we've looked at Northrop and Lockheed Martin and all that lot. The question of does I believe the TR3B exists? I don't think there's anything you'd have given me tonight where I said it doesn't, because I've seen them.
Okay.
I believe I've set my own eyes, I've seen one, and I think that's what I saw. So, does that believe in the TR3B? Yeah, that believes.
Do I believe black projects exist? Yes. Black budgets exist? Yes. Planes that we have absolutely no idea exist? Yes. That's what military do.
We have evidence of it. Like I said, the F-117 Nighthawk got shot down, and they went, "Oh yeah, we've been flying that for 20 years." This R-71 went, "Oh, we've got this plane." They went, "Oh, that's brand new," and they went, "No, we've been flying for 20 years, decommissioned it, it's going to Smithsonian, so we told you to see it." So we have evidence of secret planes existing.
Yeah, and I agree, 100% secret planes exist. The TR3B, triangular specifically, 3 lights, ball in the middle. Do I believe that plane exists? It doesn't need to be called TR3B. It's just, does that particular aircraft exist?
Joe, I think that's, sorry, I don't want to put into your closing up, that's an important point. Like, I think TR3B is I don't know, colloquial's the right term, but it's the name, the colloquial term given to it by the internet.
It's the given name.
It's the given name. We had Project Aurora before.
Yeah.
It might be the US Navy or the US Air Force might call it something else, but
it's called Badges of Dick. That's what the project's called. But it doesn't need to be called TR3B. But does that particular aircraft...
Does what we class as TR3B exist? What we call TR3B, it doesn't have to be called it, but what we... The craft we're designating TR3B.
Whatever the project name is called.
Mm-hmm.
We know TR3A does.
Mm-hmm.
Declassified.
It was built by Northrop and...
TR3B being an anti-gravitational aircraft. Does that exist? And in my opinion, from... quite hypocritical now, I will admit, because I am the sort of person who says, give me fact, give me logic, give me evidence.
Mm-hmm.
But today, I'm going on instinct and what I think I've seen from what I've seen in Belgium, what I've seen since, my feeling towards it, because I can't prove or disprove it because it's never been proved.
Sorry, can I join just one more time? When we say we need fact and we need evidence, like, that's not saying by that we need the US Navy or US Air Force to come out and go, here's the TR3B. We can take fact or evidence from other places. So we have a pattern of sightings. Excuse me. We have a pattern of sightings. We have a pattern of behaviour from the US Air Force of the F-117 Nighthawk, the SR-71 Blackbird. We've got a pattern of behaviour that says there's a secret spy plane happening. So when we say we need evidence, we don't mean evidence of that here's a TR3B, it exists. We can take patterns of behaviour and patterns of examples to show evidence. Do you know what I'm trying to get?
Well, this is part of these statements. So, of all the videos I've done before, I said to you, show me the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, a friend of mine said, you should be a lawyer because you're saying, show me the evidence, show me the evidence.
Yeah.
On this occasion, the Air Force has never said, this is true.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing we've got to go on is, really, eyewitness testimony
which is fucking hundreds of them.
But we've already agreed eyewitness testimony on a singularity basis is false.
Yeah, but these are hundreds of people seeing the same thing at the same time, and groups of them are separate groups of police officers.
Yeah. So you let me finish for a second.
Sorry, I apologise. I shouldn't jump into your closing statement. Apologise.
That's absolutely fine. Because I was thinking the same thing, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to say why I'm hypocritical for my final statement. So normally that's exactly what I'd say, but it's without a plane being shot down. But if I take into consideration the huge amount of reports and video footage and photos and everything else that goes with it pre-Photoshop, we're talking 1980s.
Yeah. Well, I keep... Sorry, I'll shut up, sorry. I'm going to butt in again, but I'll shut up.
So pre-1980s, fucking ignore the shit you just talked about for 40 minutes. Does that believe? For the first time ever, that does believe.
That believes!
That there is an experimental craft, this is non-extraterrestrial, this is terrestrial craft, I don't know if it's back engineered, I've got no idea, but the TR3B for me is a terrestrial craft with human ingenuity, far more than we can ever imagine, because that's what the military complex does. But I believe this triangular craft exists in the manner it's stated, electromagnetism, so far than we can even comprehend, and it exists now. It exists 30 years ago. We've probably got more than that now. And I believe the people that saw it. The videos that they took was evidence. There's too many single-handed cases to say it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned in the moon landing video that, and I think I mentioned it earlier today, that I think the Golden Age conspiracy is dead because any evidence you put forward now, good, that's digitally manipulated, that's Photoshop, that's fake, it's CGI or whatever. So I think the video footage from 93, 89 to 94 is that I genuinely believe that can't be faked. I don't think that word faked or doctored.
I think it's tough to fake.
I think it's tough to fake. The sheer number of eyewitness accounts say that the Belgian wave happened. I don't believe the sheer number of Phoenix Lights accounts doesn't match with a official story that were flares, and the flares didn't act in the way they should have done.
Well, I don't think that the Phoenix Lights for TR3B, specifically say TR3B. I believe TR3B is a terrestrial it's a terrestrial aircraft, a black budget hidden aircraft.
Yeah, completely agree with that.
Created by humans that we cannot simply comprehend because we believe the technology we see today is the technology, but really.
Is it reverse engineered from alien technology? I've seen nothing to say it is.
I want to think it is.
I want to think it is because
idea.
I love the idea and the propulsion system is so revolutionary.
But is it?
But at the same time,
it's Tesla 100 years ago.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to believe it is because I think to go, that's reverse engineered from alien tech, kind of denies human ingenuity and human endeavour.
And that's what I was going to say. I think
it would be so shit that we can't progress past the point we're at now without alien tech. How did aliens get that tech?
So
ingenuity and invention and humans incapable of the same thing.
And this was going to be my part in my closing statement was I think that the TR3B exists not necessarily in name, but that particular craft definitely exists.
The craft we call TR3B exists.
Yes. And people say it's alien tech. I think
reverse engineered alien tech is.
But I think we're doing the human race, the human ingenuity disservice. I think this is wholly the ability to have enough people with enough money, with enough minds in a place at the same time and go, what can we do? And I think this is humankind, intellect, that says, we are capable of creating a craft that is capable of amazing things that the human race isn't ready for yet because it's the industrial complex.
Mm-hmm.
That's so far ahead of commercial technology. I think this exists. I think it's humans.
I really want to believe that it's reverse engineered alien tech.
We can't prove it isn't.
Right? Because partly, half me wants to believe it's reverse engineered alien tech because that means we've got alien tech and therefore we know aliens exist, and that part of me wants to believe in that. But the other part of me wants it not to be alien tech. The other part of me wants to go, what would happen if we got the best scientists in the world with a fucking unlimited funding? What could they create? That.
And I agree. That is human ingenuity, which I fucking give a thumbs up to. Nothing to do with alien tech, because there's nothing in that humans can't do.
As much as I want it to be reversed alien tech because that would prove aliens exist, I want it to be pure human tech. More just because where the fucking amazing speed, the stuff we can achieve, the stuff we can do, the stuff we have done, the stuff we have achieved. And we seem to hit a deadlock where we go, oh, we've come to this fantastic new amazing propulsion system. Oh, it's alien. Is that not giving a discredit to the people that have fucking invented it? Is that just giving a discredit to like what you think that we've reached the pinnacle of human intelligence, we can't go any further? Well, if this is alien tech and aliens developed this, how did they get so intelligent to develop it? Are we incapable of getting to that point?
Correct.
Half of me would love for this to be alien tech because then it proves that aliens exist and we're not alone in the universe. And what Carl Sagan, I think it was, who said, or maybe Stephen Hawking,
an ingenious man regardless,
who said there's two facts about the universe. There's one truth about the universe. Either we're alone in the universe or there's life out there, and both are equally scary.
I think Stephen Hawking said
that. I think it was Stephen Hawking said that. And yeah, I love this to be reverse alien tech because then it proves aliens are out there. But at the same time, why do people think we're incapable of building this tech? If aliens are capable of achieving that level of building it, why aren't humans? So I think we do humans a disservice. Like, I'm not sure, this TR3B could only exist if it reversed alien tech.
I think Tesla showed over 100 years ago that electromagnetism is possible. And are you telling me that we've not progressed since Tesla?
No. It's that thing that 100 years ago Tesla found a way to deliver electricity wirelessly across half the planet, and the only reason we're not using that method is because we couldn't charge how many units you were using.
Well, there's a different a Tesla conspiracy is different, but the electric companies and gas companies and oil companies and so on and so on.
Yeah, but I don't want to get. Yeah, let's not get buried down that. But yeah, I think to say, oh well, this to fly like this and be so silent and this method, it must be alien built. I think is disservice to humanity.
I agree.
I think look at what we've done in the last 100 years. Look at technology 100 years ago and look at today. We are an amazing fucking species.
And I agree. I think the TR3B or whatever it's called or what its real name is human ingenuity of a wonderful nature. It exists. You asked me the question: is it alien?
There's no way of saying you can't come down and decide if it's alien or not.
But
we can say it exists.
And I believe humans could create it.
Yeah.
Based on our technology.
So that's the first time ever we've both come down on does I believe.
Yes.
It's the first time you've come down on does. You pop your I believe cherry tonight.
Even after the bullshit I've had to try to take that last conversation out. But yes,
I don't regret a minute of that, but yeah.
But yeah, you're right. So I don't even think this is a conspiracy. This is the thing for me. Like this to me It's not a conspiracy. This craft has been seen for nearly 30 years.
Yeah, and again, like I was saying, we always say, give us evidence and we'll change our mind and but evidence doesn't always have to be, there's a TR3B in my street. Like, park it in my street, I can touch it, I can see it, it's there, or the American government declared it exists. It's, for me, there's a pattern of sightings, there's a pattern of behaviour. So there's a pattern of sightings across Belgium and San Francisco and Illinois, well maybe not San Francisco, but Illinois and stuff like that. But then there's a pattern of behaviour in the American military of the F-117 Nighthawk, the SR-71 Blackbird. We can see a pattern of behaviour which kind of this fits with that. So does this exist? For me, he's going, oh well, you didn't. People at home going, well, actually, you guys fucking demand proof and you demand evidence. And to be fair, I think there's enough evidence here that says this will be disclosed in 10 years' time when it's decommissioned. 10, 20 years' time when this is decommissioned, we'll go, yeah, the TR3B existed. Because of the pattern of behaviour, the pattern of sightings, they're all too similar and correct.
If we use the 50-year milestone,
mm-hmm.
2030, isn't it? So 10 years, you're quite right. That'll say, it's gone now. We'll go, fucking hell, that's wonderful tech. It's like, yeah, it's 50
gone
years
now.
old.
Yeah.
So,
and why did they commission the SR-71 Blackbird? Because they had the fucking TR3B flying.
So, wonderfully, you'll think, I fucking agreed to something.
We actually agreed on something. And it's the first time he's actually backed up a theory, even though it was your idea to create this channel. To me, there's nothing hard about this. TR3B is, as a Black Project plane, as a secret spy plane, yes, it definitely exists. As a spacefaring craft, nah.
There's no.
I'll withhold judgment on that if you don't mind.
But there's no reason why it couldn't be an electromagnetic craft.
But there's no reason to say it is.
No, agreed.
So does TR3B exist? Yes.
Yes.
And I think we'll end it there.
Holy shit.
We both agree.
Holy shit.
We're dumbfounded, we're dumbstruck that we're both actually in agreement on the same side of the fence tonight.
I'm still fucking dumbstruck that I had to listen to you for 40 minutes.
Does that believe that TR3B exists? Does that believe there's some evidence we've missed out? As always, put it in the comments below if you've got anything to say. Like, share, subscribe, and go tell two friends. Go tell two friends that we're here. Let them know we exist. Even if it's just laugh at Craig for those 40 minutes. I'll put the timestamp in the video if it makes it easy to tell your friends when we just fuck with Craig's head. But as always, he's been Craig, I've been Badger.
I've got the fucking hiccups.
Until next time, see you there.